precipitate,
마구 재촉하다, 침전시키다,
abjure,
포기하다,
ambiguous,
모호한,
aesthetic,
미적인,
ameliorate,
개선하다,
apathy,
냉담,
aberrant,
이상한,
fractious,
괴팍한,
perfunctory,
형식적인,
attenuate,
약화시키다,
apostate,
배교자,
artless,
소박한,
alacrity,
민첩성,
diatribe,
비난을 퍼붓다,
equivocate,
얼버무리다,
limpid,
애매모호하지 않은, 명쾌한,
apotheosis,
신격화,
invective,
독설,
disabuse,
깨게 하다,
impecunious,
돈이 없는,
propitiate,
달래다,
raconteur,
이야기꾼,
anodyne,
진통제,
effrontery,
뻔뻔함,
probity,
정직, 고결함,
sinecure,
한직,
asperity,
험악함,
invidious,
불친절한,
phlegmatic,
담담한,
anachronism,
시대착오,
paragon,
모범,
inchoate,
방금 시작한,
mendicant,
탁발의, 구걸하는,
panegyric,
찬사,
impervious,
통하지 않는,
appropriate,
적절한,
turgid,
과장된,
ebullient,
기세등등한,
officious,
참견 잘하는,
estimable,
존경할 만한,
flag,
깃발,
dissemble,
숨기다,
canard,
헛소문, 유언비어,
sardonic,
냉소적인,
tirade,
장황한, 연설,
inundate,
범람하다,
dupe,
속이다,
avarice,
탐욕,
catalyst,
촉매,
cardinal,
추기경, 아주 중요한,
cogent,
설득력 있는,
contrite,
회개하다,
disparate,
이질적인,
stolid,
멍청한,
malleable,
온순한,
endemic,
풍토병,
advocate,
지지하다,
obdurate,
완고한,
archaic,
낡은,
lucid,
맑은,
assuage,
달래다,
pristine,
깨끗한,
glib,
말 잘하는,
whimsical,
변덕스러운,
embellish,
꾸미다,
convoluted,
뒤얽힌,
complacent,
자기 만족적인,
lethargic,
무기력한,
insipid,
시시한,
deride,
비웃다,
analogous,
유사한,
coalesce,
합쳐지다,
emulate,
흉내내다,
irascible,
짜증나는,
calumny,
비방,
venerate,
존경하다,
belie,
믿다,
aberration,
수차,
enervate,
기진맥진하게 하다,
gregarious,
사교적인,
parsimonious,
지극히 검소한,
innocuous,
무해한,
demur,
이의를 제기하다,
prodigal,
방탕한,
laconic,
간결한,
commensurate,
상응하는,
prevaricate,
얼버무리다,
meticulous,
꼼꼼한,
banal,
진부한,
mitigate,
원화시키다,
exacerbate,
악화시키다,
perfidy,
불성실한,
torpor,
무기력,
bucolic,
무가적인,
reticent,
말이 없는,
diffident,
자신 없는,
engender,
만들어내다,
audacious,
대담한,
eclectic,
절충적인,
ephemeral,
일시적인,
mollify,
달래다,
abstain,
삼가다,
supplant,
대신하다,
itinerant,
순회,
ascetic,
금요기,
confound,
혼란시키다,
implacable,
달래기 어려운,
denigrate,
검게하다,
apocryphal,
외경이,
pragmatic,
실용적인,
soporific,
수면이,
abstruse,
난해한,
burgeon,
싹트다, 갑자기 출현하다,
decorum,
단정,
austere,
근엄한,
accolade,
영예,
obsequious,
아첨하는,
dilettante,
문학예술의 애호가,
foment,
선동하다,
vacillate,
망설이다,
admonish,
훈계하다,
repudiate,
거절하다,
garrulous,
잘 짓거리는,
deleterious,
해로운,
antipathy,
반감,
dilatory,
느린,
erudite,
박학한,
specious,
수상쩍은,
craven,
겁이 많은,
capricious,
변덕스러운,
anomaly,
변칙,
arduous,
어려운,
esoteric,
밀교의,
bolster,
보강하다,
placate,
달래다,
sedulous,
꼼꼼한,
contentious,
논쟁의 여지가 있는,
choleric,
화 잘 내는,
pariah,
불황자,
churlish,
여비한,
apogee,
최고점,
nadir,
최하점,
Catholic,
가톨릭,
meddlesome,
기운찬,
curmudgeon,
심술궂은,
maudlin,
자루는, 감상적이 되는,
quixotic,
돈키호테식의,
martinet,
규율에, 까다로운 사람,
imbroglio,
복잡한 줄거리,
cupidity,
탐욕,
sybarite,
사치와 향락을 일삼는 무리,
vituperate,
독서를 퍼붓다,
expurgate,
추방하다,
umbrage,
분노를 사다,
plucky,
용감한,
lugubrious,
우울한,
grandiloquent,
장황한,
lampoon,
풍자시,
perspicacious,
예리한,
sagacious,
현명한,
solecism,
어법 위반,
impute,
돌리다,
imperious,
거만한,
ossify,
고려하다,
ribald,
상스러운 말을 하는,
inur,
효력을 발생하다,
rarefied,
희박한,
Spartan,
스파르타니,
denouement,
대단원,
puerile,
어린이다운,
impetuous,
충동적인,
peripatetic,
여행자,
philistine,
속물,
brook,
신의,
disingenuous,
솔직하지 못한,
chimera,
가공의 괴물, 근거 없는 환상, 망상,
arrogate,
거만하다,
ersatz,
대용품,
hoary,
낡은, 녹슨,
impugn,
저기를 품다,
pellucid,
투명한,
solicitous,
간절한,
fecund,
비옥한,
enormity,
악독,
tyro,
초심자,
complaisant,
공손한,
proscribe,
금지하다,
noisome,
해로운, 악취가 나는,
surfeit,
초과하다,
trenchant,
날카로운,
synonyms,
동의어,
halcyon,
평온한, 풍요로운,
evanescent,
사라져가는,
lachrymose,
눈물을 잘 흘리는,
oblique,
비스만,
modicum,
소량,
dissolution,
용해,
ineluctable,
피할 수 없는,
candid,
솔직한,
affluent,
풍족한,
amiable,
부침성 있는,
acme,
절정,
erratic,
불규칙한,
reprobate,
타락자, 남봉꾼, 무례한,
zenith,
정점,
unconscionable,
비양심적인,
misanthrope,
염세주의자,
chauvinist,
광신적, 애국주의자,
corroborate,
확증하다,
exhort,
간곡히 타이르다,
errant,
잘못된,
animosity,
악의,
replete,
충만한,
sanguine,
낙관적인,
paucity,
극빈의,
impermeable,
불침투성,
transitory,
일시적인,
morose,
시무룩한,
resolve,
해결하다,
dearth,
부족,
impede,
방해하다,
jocular,
익살스러운,
facetious,
우스운,
benign,
온화한,
martial,
용감한,
perennial,
단연생,
jargon,
특수용어,
assail,
습격하다,
tawdry,
천박한,
irresolute,
결단력이 없는,
grovel,
기다,
altruism,
이타주의,
surly,
거친,
placid,
온화한,
leery,
의심 많은,
obstinate,
완고한,
goad,
막대기,
conundrum,
수수께끼,
precarious,
믿을 수 없는,
eccentric,
별난,
fawn,
엷은 황갈색,
wanton,
가불다,
buttress,
부벽,
presumptuous,
주제 넘은,
redress,
구제,
feudal,
하찮은,
aphorism,
경구,
perquisite,
필수품,
synonyms,
동의어,
enumerate,
낱낱이 세다,
debunk,
정체를 폭로하다,
misogynist,
여성 혐오자,
relegate,
물러나게 하다,
restive,
반항적인,
parochial,
좁은,
harangue,
연설,
amenable,
받을 수 있는,
iconoclast,
우상 파괴자,
disinterested,
사심 없는,
frugal,
검소한,
intimate,
친밀한,
censure,
비난,
auspicious,
상서로운,
amorphous,
무정형,
profligate,
방탕자,
ingenuous,
솔직한,
mercurial,
수은제,
upbraid,
꾸짖다,
ambivalent,
양가적인,
extant,
현존하는,
artful,
교활한,
castigate,
징계하다, 거세하다,
dogmatic,
독단적인,
gossamer,
섬세한 거미줄 같은,
platitude,
진부한 말,
fortuitous,
운 좋게, 우연한,
didactic,
남을 가르치고 싶어하는,
inexorable,
무정한, 불변이,
decorous, obscure,
모호한,
germane,
밀접한 관계가 있는,
gainsay,
반대 의견,
eschew,
피하다,
querulous,
불평하는,
rustic,
거칠게 만든, 소박한,
recondite,
심오한, 난해한,
jingoism,
호전적, 애국주의,
immutable,
불변,
languid,
노곤한,
refractory,
감당할 수 없는,
fallacious,
그릇된,
quotidian,
흔해 빠진,
unequivocal,
분명한,
guileless,
순진한,
travesty,
희화,
derivative,
파생적,
juxtapose,
나란히 놓다,
panache,
깃털 장식,
delineate,
묘사하다,
eminent,
저명한,
ignoble,
추잡한,
refute,
반박하다,
ingratiate,
한심을 사다,
idiosyncrasy,
특질,
petulant,
성가신,
tortuous,
비뚤어진,
copious,
풍부한,
myopic,
근시,
laudable,
칭찬할 만한,
intransigent,
비타협적인,
pedantic,
현학적인,
discreet,
이산,
incorrigible,
고칠 수 없는,
hackneyed,
진부한,
iconoclastic,
우상 파괴의,
opaque,
불투명체,
acerbic,
신랄한,
exonerate,
면죄하다,
ostentatious,
과시하는,
gauche,
어색한,
sycophant,
아첨꾼,
taciturn,
말없는,
inveterate,
뿌리 깊은,
arcane,
신비한,
inimical,
반하는,
reverent,
경건한,
hegemony,
주도권, 패권,
lionize,
거만하게 굴다,
prolific,
다작,
antithetical,
정반대의,
myriad,
무수한,
intrepid,
대담한,
winsome,
매력있는,
audacity,
대담,
circumscribe,
제한하다,
rescind,
철회하다,
sporadic,
때때로 일어나는,
pedestrian,
보행자,
pernicious,
유해한,
prodigious,
거대한,
sanction,
제재,
synonyms,
동의어,
tractable,
다루기 쉬운,
poignant,
가슴에 사무치는,
nonplussed,
무첨가에,
disseminate,
유포하다,
posit,
정하다,
polemic,
논쟁,
mundane,
평범한,
illicit,
이끌리다,
reproach,
책망하다,
nuance,
미묘한 차이,
pejorative,
경멸적인,
maverick,
독불장군,
furtive,
은밀히,
fastidious,
까다로운,
base,
기초,
malfeasance,
부정행위,
overweening,
과도한,
lascivious,
음탕한,
cherry,
나서지 않는,
errant,
대단한,
feckless,
무능한,
Byzantine,
복잡한,
turpitude,
비열,
penurious,
가난한,
truculent,
거친,
untoward,
바람직하지 않은,
prosaic,
평범한,
ponderous,
매우 무거운,
anathema,
저주,
saturnine,
무뚝뚝한,
supercilious,
거만한,
excoriate,
심하게 비난하다,
tendentious,
경향이 있는,
sartorial,
의복이,
peremptory,
단호한,
remonstrate,
항의하다,
mellifluous,
부드럽고 아름다운,
histrionic,
연극적인,
hedge,
방지책,
gerrymander,
자기 당에 유리하게 개정하다,
jejune,
볼모에, 메마른,
juggernaut,
절대적인 힘,
duplicity,
이중성,
provident,
신중한,
portentous,
전조의,
redoubtable,
무서운,
litany,
장황한 설명,
quail,
매출하기,
charlatan,
허풍선이,
maunder,
배회하다,
punctilious,
꼼꼼한,
primacy,
우선권,
dovetail,
딱 들어맞다,
patent,
특허,
corollary,
필연적인,
intimation,
통고,
hubris,
거만,
equitable,
공정한,
inimitable,
흉내낼 수 없는,
puissant,
강인한,
untenable,
지킬 수 없는,
obstreperous,
시끄러운,
atavism,
격세유전,
apatheme,
격언,
objurgate,
꾸짖다,
pith,
속 중심,
chagrin,
억울함,
nettlesome,
귀찮은,
unstinting,
아끼지 않는,
truculence,
흉포,
vitriol,
신랄한 비평,
artifice,
기교,
chastise,
벌하다,
epigram,
경구,
baleful,
해로운,
exemplar,
모범,
squelch,
끽소리 못하게 하는 말,
obtuse,
무딘,
autocratic,
독재적인,
callow,
미숙한,
stultify,
바보처럼 보이게 하다,
internecine,
서로 죽이는,
facile,
손쉬운,
ethereal,
미묘한,
concomitant,
수반되는,
dissipate,
소멸하다,
cataclysm,
대재앙,
capitulate,
항복하다,
infelicitous,
불행한,
panacea,
만병통치약,
graft,
부정이득,
chauvinism,
광신적, 애국주의,
pillory,
음모의,
promulgate,
널리 퍼지게 하다,
veritable,
진실하게,
despot,
독재자,
obtain,
얻다,
verisimilitude,
있을 법함,
extrapolate,
외추측하다,
splenetic,
비장의,
hoodwink,
눈속임,
indignant,
붕괴하다,
spendthrift,
낭비,
pine,
소나무,
tender,
부드러운,
vindictive,
복수심 있는,
profuse,
풍부한,
peruse,
정독하다,
indigenous,
원주민,
mesmerize,
최면을 걸다,
affable,
상냥한,
voracious,
개걸스러운,
sanctimonious,
신성한 체하는,
heyday,
전성기,
scintillating,
반짝거리는,
apex,
꼭대기,
bellicose,
호전적,
pugnacious,
호전적인,
junta,
군사정권,
hodgepodge,
기범벅,
preemptive,
선제,
consummate,
유능한,
elusive,
종잡을 수 없는,
discriminate,
변별력이 있다,
quandary,
당황한 상태,
avid,
욕심 많은,
patronize,
후원하다,
renege,
약속을 어기다,
ascendancy,
의,
incessant,
끊임없는,
pithy,
속이 있는,
fledgling,
풋내기,
euphoria,
행복감,
cornucopia,
풍부,
debase,
타락하다,
vacuous,
아무것도 하지 않는,
impeccable,
완벽한,
credence,
신용,
illicit,
볼법,
conducive,
도움이 되는,
inadvertent,
고의가 아닌, 우연히,
urbane,
도시적인,
augment,
증강,
fickle,
변하기 쉬운,
genteel,
점잖은 체하는,
pertinent,
적절한,
travail,
상고 고생,
exasperate,
경로한,
perturb,
동요시키다,
exemplify,
본보기로 삼다,
tout,
크게 선전하다,
foible,
약점,
destitute,
궁핍한,
unseemly,
보기 흉한,
collusion,
공모,
maxim,
격언,
squander,
낭비,
malevolent,
악에 있는,
unprecedented,
전례 없는,
pastoral,
묵가적,
belittle,
약보다,
melancholy,
우울,
cerebral,
대뇌의,
piquant,
톡톡 튀는,
preempt,
선점하다,
uncanny,
섬뜩한,
profusion,
풍부,
clemency,
관용,
incense,
몹시 성나게 하다,
ascribe,
책망하다,
antedate,
선행,
consecrate,
바치다,
docile,
온순한,
qualm,
우물쭈물하다,
balk,
놓치다,
discreet,
신중한,
besiege,
포위하다,
abysmal,
최악의,
stymie,
방해물,
champion,
챔피언,
carping,
흠집,
convivial,
유쾌한,
complimentary,
보완,
dispatch,
보내다,
boorish,
천박한,
sordid,
더러운,
cosmopolitan,
세계적인,
miscreant,
사악한,
egregious,
악명 높은,
qualify,
자격을 갖추다,
undermine,
약화시키다,
galvanize,
아연 도금하다,
equivocal,
확실치 않은,
anomalous,
변칙적인,
chastise,
벌하다,
venality,
부패,
voracious,
진실한,
cryptic,
숨은,
predilection,
편애,
preclude,
배제하다,
concede,
양보하다,
incisive,
예리한,
apathetic,
냉담한,
prescience,
이지,
superfluous,
불필요한,
vociferous,
시끄러운,
culminate,
절정에 달하다,
culpability,
과실,
impudent,
건방진,
aesthete,
유미주의자,
glut,
과다,
denote,
나타내다,
insidious,
교활한,
avaricious,
탐욕스러운,
treacherous,
믿을 수 없는,
subsume,
포함하다,
incongruous,
어울리지 않는,
rudimentary,
기초적인,
spurious,
가짜,
circumvent,
우회하다,
vilify,
천하게 하다,
tenacious,
끈기 있는,
belligerent,
교정국,
magnanimous,
관대한,
staunch,
확고하다,
adamant,
단호한,
underscore,
밑줄,
construe,
해석하다,
pundit,
전문가,
temperance,
절제,
largesse,
아낌없이 금품을 주기,
blatant,
떠들썩한,
provincial,
지방이,
exacting,
힘든,
exalt,
극구 칭찬하다,
admonitory,
훈계,
contingent,
대표단,
implausible,
인정하기 어려운,
espouse,
배우자를 표명하다,
insolent,
건방진,
munificent,
많은,
trite,
흔한,
inscrutable,
헤아릴 수 없는,
propitious,
호의적인,
brazen,
단단한,
subversive,
파괴적인,
arbitrary,
임의의,
precipitous,
성급한,
irrevocable,
돌이킬 수 없는,
resurgent,
부활,
mendacity,
거짓말,
appease,
달래다,
flux,
유령,
maladroit,
서투른,
rebuke,
꾸짖다,
contrition,
뉘우침,
transient,
일시적인,
edifying,
교화,
dispassionate,
냉정한,
indecorous,
무례한,
timorous,
소심한,
impartial,
공정한,
beg,
빌다,
jingoist,
호전적, 애국주의자,
factious,
당파적인,
kowtow,
비굴하게 아부하다,
expansive,
널찍한,
insufferable,
참을 수 없는,
indigent,
가난한,
expunge,
지우다,
defray,
방어하다,
chao,
소심한,
exegesis,
주해,
conciliate,
달래다,
imbibe,
마시다.
zeitgeist,
시대 정신.
Hector,
허세 부리는 사람.
quisling,
내국노.
bilious,
담즙이 많은.
venial,
정맥에.
arch,
아치형이.
parvenu,
벼락부자.
jaundice,
황달.
fell,
쓰러뜨리다.
picayune,
하찮은 것. 사람.
factitious,
허구의.
sententious,
예민한.
pyrrhic,
피로스의.
execrate,
저주하다.
palimpsest,
고친 자국이 남아있는 것.
sang-froid,
태연 자약.
ariviste,
도착자.
mulct,
속여 빼앗다.
Polyonous,
극단적으로. 낙천적인.
blinkered,
시야가 좁은.
schadenfreude,
남의 불행을 고소하게 여김.
protean,
변화무쌍한.
benighted,
우매한.
malapropism,
우습게 잘못 쓰인 말.
phantasmagorical,
환상적인.
insouciance,
무관심.
derelict,
버려진.
prognostication,
이지.
prolixity,
장황함.
enthrall,
마음을 사로잡다.
hail,
우박을 퍼붓다.
mordant,
매정한.
recapitulation,
반복.
gaffe,
과실.
temerity,
무모한 행위.
seed,
양보하다.
flummox,
실패.
anemic,
빈혈.
epiphany,
깨달음.
semblance,
겉보기.
enjoin,
명령하다.
moribund,
죽어가는.
approbatory,
찬사.
bowdlerize,
불온한 부분을 삭제하다.
unforthcoming,
예정되지 않은.
artlessness,
순진함.
illustrious,
유명한.
vitriolic,
신랄한.
pecuniary,
금전.
hagiographic,
하기조학적.
importuned,
조급한.
hobble,
절름발이.
lacerate,
괴롭히다.
inviolate,
침범하다.
crestfallen,
풀이 죽은.
firebrand,
불의 상표.
magisterial,
공평한.
decry,
비난하다.
flippant,
경솔한.
incontrovertible,
논쟁의 여지가 없는.
celerity,
민첩함.
irrefutable,
반박할 수 없는.
recrimination,
상호. 비난.
presentiment,
예감.
crystallize,
결정화하다.
dispensation,
면제.
tempestuous,
격렬한.
encumber,
막다.
subterfuge,
속임수.
unpropitious,
달갑지 않은.
surreptitious,
은밀한.
immure,
감금하다. 투옥하다.
machinate,
꾸미다.
stalwart,
건장한.
nonchalant,
무심한.
unflappable,
흔들리지 않는.
improvident,
즉흥적인.
cosseted,
아끼는.
unviable,
실행 불가능.
percipient,
지각 있는.
recrudesce,
재발.
rapprochement,
친선.
debonair,
명예를 실추시키다.
deign,
디자인하다.
broadside,
현측.
solicitude,
갈망.
unprepossessing,
선입견이 없는.
bristle,
억센 털.
embryonic,
대하.
browbeat,
눈썹을 치켜올리다.
doleful,
서글픈.
besotted,
혹해 빠진.
languish,
시들다.
reprisal,
보복.
effervescent,
흥분한.
ineffable,
말로 표현할 수 없는.
meteoric,
유성.
appurtenant,
부속물.
inanity,
광기.
bemoan,
한탄하다.
antic,
익살스러운.
untrammeled,
속박되지 않은.
gambit,
노름꾼.
empiricism,
경험주의.
doughty,
대담한.
inviolable,
불가침.
self-effacing,
자제.
vaunted,
자랑.
gumption,
적극성.
complicit,
공범자.
bridal,
굴레.
coterminous,
같은 말단이.
dolorous,
슬픈.
transmute,
변하게 하다.
desiccated,
건조.
unimpeachable,
흠잡을 데 없는.
pontificate,
교황을 세우다.
bromide,
진부한 생각발,
conflagration,
큰 화제,
malingerer,
음해하는 사람,
desideratum,
몹시 아쉬운 것, 절실한 요구,
unassailable,
난공불락,
afford,
여유가 되다,
hauteur,
거만,
discursive,
산만한,
aplomb,
태연자야, 침착,
palatable,
입맛에 맞는,
conflate,
융합하다,
inequity,
불공정,
assiduously,
열심히,
proselytize,
전도하다,
elegiac,
애가,
demonstrative,
분명히 나타내는,
raillery,
농담,
diminutive,
작다,
bastardization,
나쁜 짓,
countermand,
대응책,
adjudicate,
판결하다,
abrogate,
폐지하다,
misattribute,
잘못된 속성,
bereft,
여인,
palaver,
교석,
row,
열,
exiguity,
미소,
loath,
실은,
enamor,
매혹,
eponym,
시조,
exorbitant,
엄청난,
simulacrum,
가짜,
unnerve,
불안하게 하다,
slapdash,
물불을 가리지 않고, 무턱대고,
telltale,
고자질하는 비밀을 폭로하는,
insolvent,
지불 불능이,
thrifty,
검소한,
summit,
정상에 서다,
screed,
길게 늘어놓는 이야기,
remiss,
태만,
embroiled,
휩쓸어 넣는,
demean,
품위를 떨어뜨리다,
dog,
끈질기게 따라다니다,
heir,
잘못,
underwrite,
인수하다,
indict,
기소하다,
inflammable,
인화하기 쉬운,
miser,
탁쟁이,
stipend,
봉급,
variance,
변화,
pinnacle,
정점,
retiring,
내향적인,
censor,
검열,
macabre,
섬뜩한,
telling,
말함,
hound,
사냥개,
thoroughgoing,
철저한,
diabolical,
악마 같은,
serendipity,
운수 좋은 뜻밖의 발견,
demure,
얌전한,
bleak,
차가운,
start,
시작,
stem,
유례하다, 저지하다,
above board,
공명정대하게,
immaterial,
중요하지 않은,
badger,
오소리,
becoming,
어울리는,
imponderable,
평가할 수 없는,
pittance,
얼마 안 되는, 수입,
check,
확인하다,
desecrate,
신을 모독하다,
amok,
장난,
virago,
바가지 긁는 여자,
melee,
난투,
checkered,
체크무늬,
ferret,
족쇄를 채우다,
moment,
순간,
flush,
붉어지다,
vicarious,
대리,
powwow,
교석, 회의,
beatific,
평화로운,
cadaverous,
시체,
raft,
뗏목,
adequate,
적절한,
extenuating,
정상 참작,
fleece,
양털로 덮다,
wax,
밀랍을 바르다,
raffish,
추첨 시기,
meander,
떠돌다,
ingenuity,
독창성,
flounder,
이상하게 행동하다,
disenfranchise,
권리를 박탈하다,
robust,
건장한,
degrade,
품위를 떨어뜨리다,
appreciable,
상당한,
muted,
음소거,
snide,
코방귀를 끼다,
respite,
이해,
boon,
혜택,
proponent,
제한자,
moot,
토론의 여지가 있는,
thwart,
저지하다,
guffaw,
크게 웃다,
fet,
축제를 열다,
disheartened,
낙담한,
autonomously,
자율적으로,
inclement,
날씨가 안 좋은,
ornate,
화려한,
apprehension,
우려,
plotting,
터벅터벅,
malady,
질병,
deter,
그만두게 하다,
entice,
꿰다,
commendable,
칭찬할 만하다,
tumult,
소란,
derisive,
비웃는,
banish,
추방하다,
precedent,
전례,
sentimental,
감상적인,
empathetic,
동정심이 있는,
uncompromising,
단호한,
spurn,
퇴짜를 놓다,
detrimental,
해로운,
smattering,
어설프게 아는 지식,
buck,
단호히 반대하다, 반항하다,
genial,
온화한,
elaborate,
정교한,
contemptuous,
경멸하는,
perpetuate,
영속하다,
hamstrung,
무력하게 하다,
unruly,
다루기 힘든,
rankle,
굼다,
label,
상표,
egotist,
이기주의자,
rash,
발진,
savvy,
실제적 지식,
aphoristic,
격언,
devolve,
양도하다,
impregnable,
난공불락의,
presumption,
가정,
irk,
짜증이 나다,
elude,
키하다,
smug,
잘난 체하는,
impending,
절박한,
enmity,
증오,
steadfast,
확고한,
taxing,
과세,
serene,
고요한,
retract,
쑥 들어가게 하다,
reservation,
예약,
quip,
제잘제잘 짓거리다,
candidness,
솔직함,
peevish,
짜증나는,
eke,
늘리다, 잡아늘이다, 크게 하다,
conniving,
묵인,
discord,
불화,
derogative,
경멸적인,
diligent,
성실한,
credulity,
믿기 쉬움,
tact,
재치,
brusquely,
무뚝뚝하게,
tarnish,
퇴색시키다,
ploy,
책략을 쓰다,
tribulation,
조난,
behooves,
행동하다,
cavalier,
호탕한,
even-handed,
공평한,
implicate,
얽히게 하다,
forthright,
솔직한,
finagle,
현혹시키다,
cohesive,
결합력 있는,
intermittent,
간헐적인,
delegate,
위임하다,
besmirch,
명성을 더럽히다,
industrious,
근면한,
foolhardy,
무모한,
begrudge,
애원하다,
rakish,
경쾌한,
veneer,
거치장,
humdrum,
단조로운,
glean,
죽다,
prevail,
만연하다,
incumbent,
현직에,
avert,
돌리다,
rile,
성나게 하다,
colossal,
거대한,
compound,
화합물,
malodorous,
악취가 나는,
paradoxical,
역설적인,
chivalrous,
기사도,
excruciating,
괴로운,
differentiate,
구별하다,
decimation,
소멸,
constraint,
강제,
provisional,
임시,
antiquated,
구식,
snub,
거절하다,
cumbersome,
번거롭다,
dilapidated,
황폐한,
staid,
안정,
inarticulate,
분명치 않은,
vanquish,
이기다,
evasive,
둘러대는,
inkling,
암시,
vie,
경쟁하다,
morph,
모양을 갖추다,
deliberate,
고의,
laborious,
힘드는,
amply,
충분히,
creditable,
신용할 수 있는,
hamper,
방해하다,
obliging,
친절한,
resignation,
체념,
maintain,
유지하다,
relevant,
관련 있는,
involved,
관련된,
wanting,
부족한,
acrimony,
악랄한 짓,
impertinent,
무례한,
vindicate,
정당성을 입증하다,
betray,
배반하다,
amalgam,
혼합물,
imperil,
위태롭게 하다,
frivolous,
천박한,
conspicuous,
확실히 보이는,
volubility,
유창,
resource,
자원,
lambast,
폭언을 퍼붓다,
dictatorial,
독재적인,
gall,
쓸개가 있는,
mawkish,
어색한,
entrenched,
확고한,
chortle,
조소하다,
deferential,
공손한,
precocious,
조숙한,
jubilant,
환희에 찬,
perceive,
지각하다,
tantamount,
상당한 양,
frustrate,
좌절시키다,
derive,
도출하다,
disaffected,
불만,
register,
등록하다,
elucidate,
해명하다,
forlorn,
고독한,
contrive,
꾸미다,
access,
입장,
vehement,
격렬한,
heretic,
이교도,
negligible,
무시할 수 있는,
haughty,
거만한,
indifference,
무관심,
eradicate,
근절하다,
unscrupulous,
사악한,
reconcile,
조정하다,
bumbling,
울퉁불퉁,
forthcoming,
다가오는,
expound,
설명하다,
capacity,
용량,
ravenous,
개걸스러운,
tempered,
단련된,
scrupulous,
꼼꼼한,
constituent,
성분,
ostracize,
배척하다,
haphazard,
닥치는 대로,
despite,
에도 불구하고,
economical,
경제적인,
harried,
괴롭힌,
duress,
압력을 가하다,
stringent,
엄한,
misconstrue,
오해하다,
sin,
실수를 많이 하는,
truncate,
자르다,
sullen,
시무룩해지다,
imprudent,
경솔한,
ignominious,
수치스러운,
opulence,
풍만한,
askance,
곁눈질,
efficacious,
효과 있는,
banality,
진부함,
jovial,
유쾌한,
precipitate,
마구 재촉하다, 침전시키다,
abjure,
포기하다,
ambiguous,
모호한,
aesthetic,
미적인,
ameliorate,
개선하다,
apathy,
냉담,
aberrant,
이상한,
fractious,
괴팍한,
perfunctory,
형식적인,
attenuate,
약화시키다,
apostate,
배교자,
artless,
소박한,
alacrity,
민첩성,
diatribe,
비난을 퍼붓다,
equivocate,
얼버무리다,
limpid,
애매모호하지 않은, 명쾌한,
apotheosis,
신격화,
invective,
독설,
disabuse,
깨게 하다,
impecunious,
돈이 없는,
propitiate,
달래다,
raconteur,
이야기꾼,
anodyne,
진통제,
effrontery,
뻔뻔함,
probity,
정직, 고결함,
sinecure,
한직,
asperity,
험악함,
invidious,
불친절한,
phlegmatic,
담담한,
anachronism,
시대착오,
paragon,
모범,
inchoate,
방금 시작한,
mendicant,
탁발의, 구걸하는,
panegyric,
찬사,
impervious,
통하지 않는,
appropriate,
적절한,
turgid,
과장된,
ebullient,
기세등등한,
officious,
참견 잘하는,
estimable,
존경할 만한,
flag,
깃발,
dissemble,
숨기다,
canard,
헛소문, 유언비어,
sardonic,
맹소적인,
tirade,
장황한, 연설,
inundate,
범람하다,
dupe,
속이다,
avarice,
탐욕,
catalyst,
촉매,
cardinal,
추기경, 아주 중요한,
cogent,
설득력 있는,
contrite,
회개하다,
disparate,
이질적인,
stolid,
멍청한,
malleable,
온순한,
endemic,
풍토병,
advocate,
지지하다,
obdurate,
완고한,
archaic,
낡은,
lucid,
맑은,
assuage,
달래다,
pristine,
깨끗한,
glib,
말 잘하는,
whimsical,
변덕스러운,
embellish,
꾸미다,
convoluted,
뒤얽힌,
complacent,
자기 만족적인,
lethargic,
무기력한,
insipid,
시시한,
deride,
비웃다,
analogous,
유사한,
coalesce,
합쳐지다,
emulate,
흉내내다,
irascible,
짜증나는,
calumny,
비방,
venerate,
존경하다,
belie,
믿다,
aberration,
수차,
enervate,
기진맥진하게 하다,
gregarious,
사교적인,
parsimonious,
지극히 검소한,
innocuous,
무해한,
demur,
이의를 제기하다,
prodigal,
방탕한,
laconic,
간결한,
commensurate,
상응하는,
prevaricate,
얼버무리다,
meticulous,
꼼꼼한,
banal,
진부한,
mitigate,
완화시키다,
exacerbate,
악화시키다,
perfidy,
불성실한,
torpor,
무기력,
bucolic,
무가적인,
reticent,
말이 없는,
diffident,
자신 없는,
engender,
만들어내다,
audacious,
대담한,
eclectic,
절충적인,
ephemeral,
일시적인,
mollify,
달래다,
abstain,
삼가다,
supplant,
대신하다,
itinerant,
순회,
ascetic,
금요기,
confound,
혼란시키다,
implacable,
달래기 어려운,
denigrate,
검게하다,
apocryphal,
외경이,
pragmatic,
실용적인,
soporific,
수면이,
abstruse,
난해한,
burgeon,
싹트다, 갑자기 출현하다,
decorum,
단정,
austere,
근엄한,
accolade,
영예,
obsequious,
아첨하는,
dilettante,
문학예술의 애호가,
foment,
선동하다,
vacillate,
망설이다,
admonish,
훈계하다,
repudiate,
거절하다,
garrulous,
잘 짓거리는,
deleterious,
해로운,
antipathy,
반감,
dilatory,
느린,
erudite,
박학한,
specious,
수상적은,
craven,
겁이 많은,
capricious,
변덕스러운,
anomaly,
변칙,
arduous,
어려운,
esoteric,
밀교의,
bolster,
보강하다,
placate,
달래다,
sedulous,
꼼꼼한,
contentious,
논쟁의 여지가 있는,
choleric,
화 잘 내는,
pariah,
불황자,
churlish,
야비한,
apogee,
최고점,
nadir,
최하점,
Catholic,
가톨릭,
meddlesome,
기운찬,
curmudgeon,
심술궂은,
maudlin,
자루는, 감상적이 되는,
quixotic,
돈키호테식의,
martinet,
규율에, 까다로운 사람,
imbroglio,
복잡한 줄거리,
cupidity,
탐욕,
sybarite,
사치와 향락을 일삼는 무리,
vituperate,
독서를 퍼붓다,
expurgate,
추방하다,
umbrage,
분노를 사다,
plucky,
용감한,
lugubrious,
우울한,
grandiloquent,
장황한,
lampoon,
풍자시,
perspicacious,
예리한,
sagacious,
현명한,
solecism,
어법 위반,
impute,
돌리다,
imperious,
거만한,
ossify,
고려하다,
ribald,
상스러운 말을 하는,
inure,
효력을 발생하다,
rarefied,
희박한,
Spartan,
스파르타니,
denouement,
대단원,
puerile,
어린이다운,
impetuous,
충동적인,
peripatetic,
여행자,
philistine,
속물,
brook,
신의,
disingenuous,
솔직하지 못한,
chimera,
가공의 괴물, 근거 없는 환상, 망상,
arrogate,
거만하다,
ersatz,
대용품,
hoary,
낡은, 녹슨,
impugn,
저기를 품다,
pellucid,
투명한,
solicitous,
간절한,
fecund,
비옥한,
enormity,
악독,
tyro,
초심자,
complaisant,
공손한,
proscribe,
금지하다,
noisome,
해로운, 악취가 나는,
surfeit,
초과하다,
trenchant,
날카로운,
synonyms,
동의어,
halcyon,
평온한, 풍요로운,
evanescent,
사라져가는,
lachrymose,
눈물을 잘 흘리는,
oblique,
비스만,
modicum,
소량,
dissolution,
용해,
ineluctable,
피할 수 없는,
candid,
솔직한,
affluent,
풍족한,
amiable,
부침성 있는,
acme,
절정,
erratic,
불규칙한,
reprobate,
타락자, 남봉꾼, 무례한,
zenith,
정점,
unconscionable,
비양심적인,
misanthrope,
염세주의자,
chauvinist,
광신적, 애국주의자,
corroborate,
확증하다,
exhort,
간곡히 타이르다,
errant,
잘못된,
animosity,
악의,
replete,
충만한,
sanguine,
낙관적인,
paucity,
극빈의,
impermeable,
불침투성,
transitory,
일시적인,
morose,
시무룩한,
resolve,
해결하다,
dearth,
부족,
impede,
방해하다,
jocular,
익살스러운,
facetious,
우스운,
benign,
온화한,
martial,
용감한,
perennial,
단연생,
jargon,
특수용어,
assail,
습격하다,
tawdry,
천박한,
irresolute,
결단력이 없는,
grovel,
기다,
altruism,
이타주의,
surly,
거친,
placid,
온화한,
leery,
의심 많은,
obstinate,
완고한,
goad,
막대기,
conundrum,
수수께끼,
precarious,
믿을 수 없는,
eccentric,
별난,
fawn,
엷은 황갈색,
wanton,
가불다,
buttress,
부벽,
presumptuous,
주제넘은,
redress,
구제,
feudal,
하찮은,
aphorism,
경구,
perquisite,
필수품,
synonyms,
동의어,
enumerate,
낱낱이 세다,
debunk,
정체를 폭로하다,
misogynist,
여성 혐오자,
relegate,
물러나게 하다,
restive,
반항적인,
parochial,
좁은,
harangue,
연설,
amenable,
받을 수 있는,
iconoclast,
우상 파괴자,
disinterested,
사심 없는,
frugal,
검소한,
intimate,
친밀한,
censure,
비난,
auspicious,
상서로운,
amorphous,
무정형,
profligate,
방탕자,
ingenuous,
솔직한,
mercurial,
수은제,
upbraid,
꾸짖다,
ambivalent,
양가적인,
extant,
현존하는,
artful,
교활한,
castigate,
징계하다, 거세하다,
dogmatic,
독단적인,
gossamer,
섬세한 거미줄 같은,
platitude,
진부한 말,
fortuitous,
운 좋게, 우연한,
didactic,
남을 가르치고 싶어하는,
inexorable,
무정한, 불변이,
decorous, obscure,
모호한,
germane,
밀접한 관계가 있는,
gainsay,
반대 의견,
eschew,
피하다,
querulous,
불평하는,
rustic,
거칠게 만든, 소박한,
recondite,
심오한, 난해한,
jingoism,
호전적, 애국주의,
immutable,
불변,
languid,
노곤한,
refractory,
감당할 수 없는,
fallacious,
그릇된,
quotidian,
흔해 빠진,
unequivocal,
분명한,
guileless,
순진한,
travesty,
희화,
derivative,
파생적,
juxtapose,
나란히 놓다,
panache,
깃털 장식,
delineate,
묘사하다,
eminent,
저명한,
ignoble,
추잡한,
refute,
반박하다,
ingratiate,
한심을 사다,
idiosyncrasy,
특질,
petulant,
성가신,
tortuous,
비뚤어진,
copious,
풍부한,
myopic,
근시,
laudable,
칭찬할 만한,
intransigent,
비타협적인,
pedantic,
현학적인,
discreet,
이산,
incorrigible,
고칠 수 없는,
hackneyed,
진부한,
iconoclastic,
우상 파괴의,
opaque,
불투명체,
acerbic,
신랄한,
exonerate,
면죄하다,
ostentatious,
과시하는,
gauche,
어색한,
sycophant,
아첨꾼,
taciturn,
말없는,
inveterate,
뿌리 깊은,
arcane,
신비한,
inimical,
반하는,
reverent,
경건한,
hegemony,
주도권, 패권,
lionize,
거만하게 굴다,
prolific,
다작,
antithetical,
정반대의,
myriad,
무수한,
intrepid,
대담한,
winsome,
매력 있는,
audacity,
대담,
circumscribe,
제한하다,
rescind,
철회하다,
sporadic,
때때로 일어나는,
pedestrian,
보행자,
pernicious,
유해한,
prodigious,
거대한,
sanction,
제재,
synonyms,
동의어,
tractable,
다루기 쉬운,
poignant,
가슴에 사무치는,
nonplussed,
무첨가에,
disseminate,
유포하다,
posit,
정하다,
polemic,
논쟁,
mundane,
평범한,
illicit,
이끌리다,
reproach,
책망하다,
nuance,
미묘한 차이,
pejorative,
경멸적인,
maverick,
독불장군,
furtive,
은밀히,
fastidious,
까다로운,
base,
기초,
malfeasance,
부정행위,
overweening,
과도한,
lascivious,
음탕한,
cherry,
나서지 않는,
errant,
대단한,
feckless,
무능한,
Byzantine,
복잡한,
turpitude,
비열,
penurious,
가난한,
truculent,
거친,
untoward,
바람직하지 않은,
prosaic,
평범한,
ponderous,
매우 무거운,
anathema,
저주,
saturnine,
무뚝뚝한,
supercilious,
거만한,
excoriate,
심하게 비난하다,
tendentious,
경향이 있는,
sartorial,
의복이,
peremptory,
단호한,
remonstrate,
항의하다,
mellifluous,
부드럽고 아름다운,
histrionic,
연극적인,
hedge,
방지책,
gerrymander,
자기 당에 유리하게 개정하다,
jejune,
볼모에, 메마른,
juggernaut,
절대적인 힘,
duplicity,
이중성,
provident,
신중한,
portentous,
전조의,
redoubtable,
무서운,
litany,
장황한 설명,
quail,
매출하기,
charlatan,
허풍선이,
maunder,
배회하다,
punctilious,
꼼꼼한,
primacy,
우선권,
dovetail,
딱 들어맞다,
patent,
특허,
corollary,
필연적인,
intimation,
통고,
hubris,
거만,
equitable,
공정한,
inimitable,
흉내낼 수 없는,
puissant,
강인한,
untenable,
지킬 수 없는,
obstreperous,
시끄러운,
atavism,
격세유전,
apatheme,
격언,
objurgate,
꾸짖다,
pith,
속 중심,
chagrin,
억울함,
nettlesome,
귀찮은,
unstinting,
아끼지 않는,
truculence,
흉포,
vitriol,
신랄한 비평,
artifice,
기교,
chastise,
벌하다,
epigram,
경구,
baleful,
해로운,
exemplar,
모범,
squelch,
끽소리 못하게 하는 말,
obtuse,
무딘,
autocratic,
독재적인,
callow,
미숙한,
stultify,
바보처럼 보이게 하다,
internecine,
서로 죽이는,
facile,
손쉬운,
ethereal,
미묘한,
concomitant,
수반되는,
dissipate,
소멸하다,
cataclysm,
대재앙,
capitulate,
항복하다,
infelicitous,
불행한,
panacea,
만병통치약,
graft,
부정이득,
chauvinism,
광신적, 애국주의,
pillory,
음모의,
promulgate,
널리 퍼지게 하다,
veritable,
진실하게,
despot,
독재자,
obtain,
얻다,
verisimilitude,
있을 법함,
extrapolate,
외추측하다,
splenetic,
비장이,
hoodwink,
눈속임,
indignant,
붕괴하다,
spendthrift,
낭비,
pine,
소나무,
tender,
부드러운,
vindictive,
복수심 있는,
profuse,
풍부한,
peruse,
정독하다,
indigenous,
원주민,
mesmerize,
최면을 걸다,
affable,
상냥한,
voracious,
개걸스러운,
sanctimonious,
신성한 체하는,
heyday,
전성기,
scintillating,
반짝거리는,
apex,
꼭대기,
bellicose,
호전적,
pugnacious,
호전적인,
junta,
군사 정권,
hodgepodge,
기범벅,
preemptive,
선제,
consummate,
유능한,
elusive,
종잡을 수 없는,
discriminate,
변별력이 있다,
quandary,
당황한 상태,
avid,
욕심 많은,
patronize,
후원하다,
renege,
약속을 어기다,
ascendancy,
위,
incessant,
끊임없는,
pithy,
속이 있는,
fledgling,
풋내기,
euphoria,
행복감,
cornucopia,
풍부,
debase,
타락하다,
vacuous,
아무것도 하지 않는,
impeccable,
완벽한,
credence,
신용,
illicit,
불법,
conducive,
도움이 되는,
inadvertent,
고의가 아닌, 우연히,
urbane,
도시적인,
augment,
증강,
fickle,
변하기 쉬운,
genteel,
점잖은 체하는,
pertinent,
적절한,
travail,
상고 고생,
exasperate,
경로한,
perturb,
동요시키다,
exemplify,
본보기로 삼다,
tout,
크게 선전하다,
foible,
약점,
destitute,
궁핍한,
unseemly,
보기 흉한,
collusion,
공모,
maxim,
격언,
squander,
낭비,
malevolent,
악에 있는,
unprecedented,
전례 없는,
pastoral,
무가적,
belittle,
약보다,
melancholy,
우울,
cerebral,
대뇌의,
piquant,
톡톡 튀는,
preempt,
선점하다,
uncanny,
섬뜩한,
profusion,
풍부,
clemency,
관용,
incense,
몹시 성나게 하다,
ascribe,
책망하다,
antedate,
선행,
consecrate,
바치다,
docile,
온순한,
qualm,
우물쭈물하다,
balk,
놓치다,
discreet,
신중한,
besiege,
포위하다,
abysmal,
최악의,
stymie,
방해물,
champion,
챔피언,
carping,
흠집,
convivial,
유쾌한,
complimentary,
보완,
dispatch,
보내다,
boorish,
천박한,
sordid,
더러운,
cosmopolitan,
세계적인,
miscreant,
사악한,
egregious,
악명 높은,
qualify,
자격을 갖추다,
undermine,
약화시키다,
galvanize,
아연 도금하다,
equivocal,
확실치 않은,
anomalous,
변칙적인,
chastise,
벌하다,
venality,
부패,
voracious,
진실한,
cryptic,
수문,
predilection,
편애,
preclude,
배제하다,
concede,
양보하다,
incisive,
예리한,
apathetic,
냉담한,
prescience,
이지,
superfluous,
불필요한,
vociferous,
시끄러운,
culminate,
절정에 달하다,
culpability,
과실,
impudent,
건방진,
aesthete,
유미주의자,
glut,
과다,
denote,
나타내다,
insidious,
교활한,
avaricious,
탐욕스러운,
treacherous,
믿을 수 없는,
subsume,
포함하다,
incongruous,
어울리지 않는,
rudimentary,
기초적인,
spurious,
가짜,
circumvent,
우회하다,
vilify,
천하게 하다,
tenacious,
끈기 있는,
belligerent,
교정국,
magnanimous,
관대한,
staunch,
확고하다,
adamant,
단호한,
underscore,
밑줄,
construe,
해석하다,
pundit,
전문가,
temperance,
절제,
largesse,
아낌없이 금품을 주기,
blatant,
떠들썩한,
provincial,
지방이,
exacting,
힘든,
exalt,
극구 칭찬하다,
admonitory,
훈계,
contingent,
대표단,
implausible,
인정하기 어려운,
espouse,
배우자를 표명하다,
insolent,
건방진,
munificent,
많은,
trite,
흔한,
inscrutable,
헤아릴 수 없는,
propitious,
호의적인,
brazen,
단단한,
subversive,
파괴적인,
arbitrary,
임의의,
precipitous,
성급한,
irrevocable,
돌이킬 수 없는,
resurgent,
부활,
mendacity,
거짓말,
appease,
달래다,
flux,
유령,
maladroit,
서투른,
rebuke,
꾸짖다,
contrition,
뉘우침,
transient,
일시적인,
edifying,
교화,
dispassionate,
냉정한,
indecorous,
무례한,
timorous,
소심한,
impartial,
공정한,
beg,
빌다,
jingoist,
호전적, 애국주의자,
factious,
당파적인,
kowtow,
비굴하게 아부하다,
expansive,
널찍한,
insufferable,
참을 수 없는,
indigent,
가난한,
expunge,
지우다,
defray,
방어하다,
chao,
소심한,
exegesis,
주해,
conciliate,
달래다,
imbibe,
마시다,
zeitgeist,
시대 정신,
hector,
허세 부리는 사람,
quisling,
내국노,
bilious,
담즙이 많은,
venial,
정맥에,
arch,
아치형이,
parvenu,
벼락부자,
jaundice,
황달,
fell,
쓰러뜨리다,
picayune,
하찮은 것, 사람,
factitious,
허구의,
sententious,
예민한,
pyrrhic,
피로스의,
execrate,
저주하다,
palimpsest,
고친 자국이 남아있는 것,
sang-froid,
태연 자약,
ariviste,
도착자,
mulct,
속여 빼앗다,
Pollyannas,
극단적으로, 낙천적인,
blinkered,
시야가 좁은,
schadenfreude,
남의 불행을 고소하게 여김,
protean,
변화무쌍한,
benighted,
우매한,
malapropism,
우습게 잘못 쓰인 말,
phantasmagorical,
환상적인,
insouciance,
무관심,
derelict,
버려진,
prognostication,
이지,
prolixity,
장황함,
enthrall,
마음을 사로잡다,
hail,
우박을 퍼붓다,
mordant,
매정한,
recapitulation,
반복,
gaffe,
과실,
temerity,
무모한 행위,
seed,
양보하다,
flummox,
실패,
anemic,
빈혈,
epiphany,
깨달음,
semblance,
겉보기,
enjoin,
명령하다,
moribund,
죽어가는,
approbatory,
찬사,
bowdlerize,
불온한 부분을 삭제하다,
unforthcoming,
예정되지 않은,
artlessness,
순진함,
illustrious,
유명한,
vitriolic,
신랄한,
pecuniary,
금전,
hagiographic,
하기조학적,
importuned,
조급한,
hobble,
절름발이,
lacerate,
괴롭히다,
inviolate,
침범하다,
crestfallen,
풀이 죽은,
firebrand,
불의 상표,
magisterial,
공평한,
decry,
비난하다,
flippant,
경솔한,
incontrovertible,
논쟁의 여지가 없는,
celerity,
민첩함,
irrefutable,
반박할 수 없는,
recrimination,
상호, 비난,
presentiment,
예감,
crystallize,
결정화하다,
dispensation,
면제,
tempestuous,
격렬한,
encumber,
막다,
subterfuge,
속임수,
unpropitious,
달갑지 않은,
surreptitious,
은밀한,
immure,
감금하다, 투옥하다,
machinate,
꾸미다,
stalwart,
건장한,
nonchalant,
무심한,
unflappable,
흔들리지 않는,
improvident,
즉흥적인,
cosseted,
아끼는,
unviable,
실행 불가능,
percipient,
지각 있는,
recrudesce,
재발,
rapprochement,
친선,
debonair,
명예를 실추시키다,
deign,
디자인하다,
broadside,
현측,
solicitude,
갈망,
unprepossessing,
선입견이 없는,
bristle,
억센 털,
embryonic,
배아,
browbeat,
눈썹을 치켜올리다,
doleful,
서글픈,
besotted,
혹해 빠진,
languish,
시들다,
reprisal,
보복,
effervescent,
흥분한,
ineffable,
말로 표현할 수 없는,
meteoric,
유성,
appurtenant,
부속물,
inanity,
광기,
bemoan,
한탄하다,
antic,
익살스러운,
untrammeled,
속박되지 않은,
gambit,
노름꾼,
empiricism,
경험주의,
doughty,
대담한,
inviolable,
불가침,
self-effacing,
자제,
vaunted,
자랑,
gumption,
적극성,
complicit,
공범자,
bridal,
굴레,
coterminous,
같은 말단이,
dolorous,
슬픈,
transmute,
견하게 하다,
desiccated,
건조,
unimpeachable,
흠잡을 데 없는,
pontificate,
교황을 세우다,
bromide,
진부한 생각발,
conflagration,
큰 화재,
malingerer,
음해하는 사람,
desideratum,
몹시 아쉬운 것, 절실한 요구,
unassailable,
난공불락,
afford,
여유가 되다,
hauteur,
거만,
discursive,
산만한,
aplomb,
태연자약, 침착,
palatable,
입맛에 맞는,
conflate,
융합하다,
inequity,
불공정,
assiduously,
열심히,
proselytize,
전도하다,
elegiac,
애가,
demonstrative,
분명히 나타내는,
raillery,
농담,
diminutive,
작다,
bastardization,
나쁜 짓,
countermand,
대응책,
adjudicate,
판결하다,
abrogate,
폐지하다,
misattribute,
잘못된 속성,
bereft,
여인,
palaver,
교석,
row,
열,
exiguity,
미소,
loath,
실은,
enamor,
매혹,
eponym,
시조,
exorbitant,
엄청난,
simulacrum,
가짜,
unnerve,
불안하게 하다,
slapdash,
물불을 가리지 않고, 무턱대고,
telltale,
고자질하는 비밀을 폭로하는,
insolvent,
지불 불능이,
thrifty,
검소한,
summit,
정상에 서다,
screed,
길게 늘어놓는 이야기,
remiss,
태만,
embroiled,
휩쓸어 넣는,
demean,
품위를 떨어뜨리다,
dog,
끈질기게 따라다니다,
heir,
잘못,
underwrite,
인수하다,
indict,
기소하다,
inflammable,
인화하기 쉬운,
miser,
탁쟁이,
stipend,
봉급,
variance,
변화,
pinnacle,
정점,
retiring,
내향적인,
censor,
검열,
macabre,
섬뜩한,
telling,
말함,
hound,
사냥개,
thoroughgoing,
철저한,
diabolical,
악마 같은,
serendipity,
운수 좋은 뜻밖의 발견,
demure,
얌전한,
bleak,
차가운,
start,
시작,
stem,
유례하다, 저지하다,
above board,
공명정대하게,
immaterial,
중요하지 않은,
badger,
오소리,
becoming,
어울리는,
imponderable,
평가할 수 없는,
pittance,
얼마 안 되는, 수입,
check,
확인하다,
desecrate,
신을 모독하다,
amok,
장난,
virago,
바가지 긁는 여자,
melee,
난투,
checkered,
체크무늬,
ferret,
족쇄를 채우다,
moment,
순간,
flush,
붉어지다,
vicarious,
대리,
powwow,
교석, 회의, 집,
beatific,
평화로운,
cadaverous,
시체,
raft,
뗏목,
adequate,
적절한,
extenuating,
정상 참작,
fleece,
양털로 덮다,
wax,
밀랍을 바르다,
raffish,
추첨 시기,
meander,
떠돌다,
ingenuity,
독창성,
flounder,
이상하게 행동하다,
disenfranchise,
권리를 박탈하다,
robust,
건장한,
degrade,
품위를 떨어뜨리다.
appreciable,
상당한.
muted,
음소거.
snide,
코방귀를 끼다.
respite,
이해.
boon,
혜택.
proponent,
제한자.
moot,
토론의 여지가 있는.
thwart,
저지하다.
guffaw,
크게 웃다.
fet,
축제를 열다.
disheartened,
낙담한.
autonomously,
자율적으로.
inclement,
날씨가 안 좋은.
ornate,
화려한.
apprehension,
우려.
plotting,
터벅터벅.
malady,
질병.
deter,
그만두게 하다.
entice,
꿰다.
commendable,
칭찬할 만하다.
tumult,
소란.
derisive,
비웃는.
banish,
추방하다.
precedent,
전례.
sentimental,
감상적인.
empathetic,
동정심이 있는.
uncompromising,
단호한.
spurn,
퇴짜를 놓다.
detrimental,
해로운.
smattering,
어설프게 아는 지식.
buck,
단호히 반대하다. 반항하다.
genial,
온화한.
elaborate,
정교한.
contemptuous,
경멸하는.
perpetuate,
영속하다.
hamstrung,
무력하게 하다.
unruly,
다루기 힘든.
rankle,
굼다.
label,
상표.
egotist,
이기주의자.
rash,
발진.
savvy,
실제적 지식.
aphoristic,
격언.
devolve,
양도하다.
impregnable,
난공불락의.
presumption,
가정.
irk,
짜증이 나다.
allude,
피하다.
smug,
잘난 체하는.
impending,
절박한.
enmity,
증오.
steadfast,
확고한.
taxing,
과세.
serene,
고요한.
retract,
쑥 들어가게 하다.
reservation,
예약.
quip,
제잘제잘 짓거리다.
candidness,
솔직함.
peevish,
짜증나는.
eke,
늘리다. 잡아늘이다. 크게 하다.
conniving,
묵인.
discord,
불화.
derogative,
경멸적인.
diligent,
성실한.
credulity,
믿기 쉬움.
tact,
재치.
brusquely,
무뚝뚝하게.
tarnish,
퇴색시키다.
ploy,
책략을 쓰다.
tribulation,
조난.
behooves,
행동하다.
cavalier,
호탕한.
even-handed,
공평한.
implicate,
얽히게 하다.
forthright,
솔직한.
finagle,
현혹시키다.
cohesive,
결합력 있는.
intermittent,
간헐적인.
delegate,
위임하다.
besmirch,
명성을 더럽히다.
industrious,
근면한.
foolhardy,
무모한.
begrudge,
애원하다.
rakish,
경쾌한.
veneer,
거치장.
humdrum,
단조로운.
glean,
줍다.
prevail,
만연하다.
incumbent,
현직에.
avert,
돌리다.
rile,
성나게 하다.
colossal,
거대한.
compound,
화합물.
malodorous,
악취가 나는.
paradoxical,
역설적인.
chivalrous,
기사도.
excruciating,
괴로운.
differentiate,
구별하다.
decimation,
소멸.
constraint,
강제.
provisional,
임시.
antiquated,
구식.
snub,
거절하다.
cumbersome,
번거롭다.
dilapidated,
황폐한.
staid,
안정.
inarticulate,
분명치 않은.
vanquish,
이기다.
evasive,
둘러대는.
inkling,
암시.
vie,
경쟁하다.
morph,
모양을 갖추다.
deliberate,
고의.
laborious,
힘드는.
amply,
충분히.
creditable,
신용할 수 있는.
hamper,
방해하다.
obliging,
친절한.
resignation,
체념.
maintain,
유지하다.
relevant,
관련 있는.
involved,
관련된.
wanting,
부족한.
acrimony,
악랄한 짓.
impertinent,
무례한.
vindicate,
정당성을 입증하다,
betray,
배반하다,
amalgam,
혼합물,
imperil,
위태롭게 하다,
frivolous,
천박한,
conspicuous,
확실히 보이는,
volubility,
유창,
resource,
자원,
lambast,
폭언을 퍼붓다,
dictatorial,
독재적인,
gall,
세계가 있는,
mawkish,
어색한,
entrenched,
확고한,
chortle,
조소하다,
deferential,
공손한,
precocious,
조숙한,
jubilant,
환희에 찬,
perceive,
지각하다,
tantamount,
상당한 양,
frustrate,
좌절시키다,
derive,
도출하다,
disaffected,
불만,
register,
등록하다,
elucidate,
해명하다,
forlorn,
고독한,
contrive,
꾸미다,
access,
입장,
vehement,
격렬한,
heretic,
이교도,
negligible,
무시할 수 있는,
haughty,
거만한,
indifference,
무관심,
eradicate,
근절하다,
unscrupulous,
사악한,
reconcile,
조정하다,
bumbling,
울퉁불퉁,
forthcoming,
다가오는,
expound,
설명하다,
capacity,
용량,
ravenous,
개걸스러운,
tempered,
단련된,
scrupulous,
꼼꼼한,
constituent,
성분,
ostracize,
배척하다,
haphazard,
닥치는 대로,
despite,
에도 불구하고,
economical,
경제적인,
harried,
괴롭힌,
duress,
압력을 가하다,
stringent,
엄한,
misconstrue,
오해하다,
sin,
실수를 많이 하는,
truncate,
자르다,
sullen,
시무룩해지다,
imprudent,
경솔한,
ignominious,
수치스러운,
opulence,
풍만한,
askance,
곁눈질,
efficacious,
효과 있는,
banality,
진부함,
jovial,
유쾌한,
precipitate, hasty or rash, hasty, over hasty, precipitant, precipitous, abjure, formally reject or give up as a belief, forswear, recant, resile, retract, ambiguous, open to more than one interpretation, equivocal, aesthetic, concerned with the appreciation of beauty, aesthetical, aesthetic, aesthetical, ameliorate, make something bad better, amend, better, improve, meliorate, apathy, an absence of emotion or enthusiasm, indifference, numbness, spiritlessness, aberrant, markedly different from an accepted norm, deviant, deviate, fractious, irritable and is likely to cause disruption, cranky, irritable, nettlesome, peckish, peevish, pettish, petulant, scratchy, techy, testy, tetchy, perfunctory, done routinely and with little interest or care, casual, cursory, passing, attenuate, to weaken in terms of intensity, to taper off, become thinner, rarefy, apostate, a person who has abandoned a religious faith or cause, deserter, ratter, recreant, renegade, turncoat, artless, without cunning or deceit, uncultivated, uncultured, alacrity, an eager willingness to do something, briskness, smartness, diatribe, a strong verbal attack against a person or institution, fulmination, equivocate, to speak vaguely, usually with the intention to mislead or deceive, beat around the bush, palter, prevaricate, tergiversate, limpid, clarity in terms of expression, crystal clear, crystalline, lucid, pellucid, transparent, perspicuous, apotheosis, exaltation to divine status, the highest point of development, ideal, nonsuch, nonpareil, nonsuch, paragon, saint, deification, exaltation. Invective, abusive or denunciatory language, vitriol, vituperation. Disabuse, to persuade somebody that his/her belief is not valid. Impecunious, lacking money, poor, hard up, in straitened circumstances, penniless, penurious, pinched. Propitiate, to placate or appease. Raconteur, a person skilled in telling anecdotes, anecdotist. Anodyne, something that soothes or relieves pain. Analgesic, pain pill, painkiller, inoffensive, analgesic, analgetic. Effrontery, audacious, even arrogant behavior that you have no right to. Assumption, presumption, presumptuousness. Probity, integrity, strong moral principles. Sinecure, an office that involves minimal duties. Asperity, harshness of manner, sharpness. Invidious, likely to cause resentment. Phlegmatic, showing little emotion. Phlegmatical. Anachronism, something that is inappropriate for the given time period, usually something old. Misdating, mistyming. Paragon, model of excellence or perfection of a kind, one having no equal. Apotheosis, ideal, nonsuch, nonpareil, nonsuch, saint. Inchoate, only partly in existence, imperfectly formed, incipient. Mendicant, a pauper who lives by begging, beggar. Panegyric, a formal expression of praise. Encomium, eulogy, paean, paean. Impervious, not admitting of passage or capable of being affected, imperviable. Appropriate, to give or take something by force, allow, earmark, reserve, set aside, capture, conquer, seize. Turgid, of language pompous and tedious, bombastic, declamator. Ebullient, joyously unrestrained. Exuberant, high-spirited. Officious, intrusive in a meddling or offensive manner. Busy, busybodied, interfering, meddlesome, meddling. Estimable, deserving of esteem and respect. Good, honorable, respectable. Flag, droop, sink, or settle from, or as if from pressure or loss of tautness become less intense. Droop, sag, swag. Dissemble, conceal one's true motives, usually through deceit, affect, feign, pretend, sham. Canard, a deliberately misleading fabrication. Sardonic, disdainfully or ironically humorous, scornful and mocking. Tirade, an angry speech. Broadside, philippic. Inundate, to flood or overwhelm. Deluge, submerge, flood, swamp. Dupe, to trick or swindle. Befool, cod, fool, gull, put on, put one across, put one over. Slang, take in. Avarice, greed, one of the 7 deadly sins. Avaritia, covetousness, greed, rapacity, avariciousness, covetousness, cupidity. Catalyst, something that speeds up an event. Accelerator. Cardinal, of primary importance. Fundamental, central, fundamental, key, primal. Cogent, clear and persuasive. Telling, weighty. Contrite, to be remorseful, remorseful, rueful, ruthful. Disparate, 2 things are fundamentally different. Stolid, having or revealing little emotion or sensibility, not easily aroused or excited. Impassive. Malleable, capable of being shaped or bent or drawn out, ductile, pliable, pliant, tensile, tractile. Endemic, native originating where it is found, autochthonal, autochthonic, autochthonous, indigenous. Advocate, speak, plead, or argue in favor of, preach. Obdurate, stubbornly persistent in changing an opinion or action. Cust, obstinate, unrepentant. Archaic, so old as to appear to belong to a different period. Antediluvian, antiquated. Lucid, of language transparently clear, easily understandable, crystal clear, limpid, luculent, pellucid, perspicuous. Assuage, make something intense less severe. Pristine, unspoiled, untouched. Glib, of a person speaking with ease but without sincerity, pat, slick. Whimsical, determined by impulse or whim rather than by necessity or reason. Capricious, impulsive. Embellish, make more attractive by adding ornament, color, etc. Make more beautiful, adorn, beautify, decorate, grace, ornament, fancify, prettify. Convoluted, highly complex or intricate. Byzantine, involved, knotty, tangled, tortuous. Complacent, contented to a fault with oneself or one's actions, self-complacent, self-satisfied. Lethargic, lacking energy, unenergetic. Insipid, dull and uninteresting. Bland, flat, flavorless, savorless, savorless, vapid. Deride, treat or speak of with contempt. Analogous, similar in some respects but otherwise different. Correspondent. Coalesce, fuse or cause to grow together. Blend, combine, commingle, conflate, flux, fuse, immix, meld, merge, mix. Emulate, strive to equal or match, especially by imitating, compete with successfully. Irascible, quickly aroused to anger. Choleric, hot-tempered, hot-headed, quick-tempered, short-tempered. Calumny, making of a false statement meant to injure a person's reputation. Calumniation, defamation, hatchet job. Obloquy, aspersion, slander, denigration, traducement. Venerate, to respect deeply, fear, revere, reverence. Belie, to give a false representation, to misrepresent, contradict, negate. Aberration, a deviation from what is normal or expected. Aberrance, aberrancy, deviance. Enervate, to sap energy from. Phase, unnerve, unsettle. Gregarious, to be likely to socialize with others. Parsimonious, extremely frugal, miserly. Penurious. Innocuous, harmless and doesn't produce any ill effects. Innocent. Demur, to object or show reluctance. Prodigal, rashly or wastefully extravagant, extravagant, profligate, spendthrift. Laconic, one who says very few words. Crisp, curt, terse. Commensurate, to be in proportion or corresponding in degree or amount. Prevaricate, to speak in an evasive way. Beat around the bush. Equivocate, palter, tergiversate. Meticulous, marked by extreme care in treatment of details. Banal, repeated too often, overfamiliar through overuse. Commonplace, hackneyed, old hat, shop-worn, stock, threadbare, time-worn, tired, trite, well-worn. Mitigate, make less severe or harsh, extenuate, palliate, exacerbate, make worse, aggravate, exasperate, worsen. Perfidy, an act of deliberate betrayal, a breach of a trust, betrayal, treachery, treason, perfidiousness, treachery. Torpor, inactivity resulting from lethargy and lack of vigor or energy, listlessness, torpidity, torpidness. Bucolic, relating to the pleasant aspects of the country, pastoral, rustic. Reticent, reluctant to draw attention to yourself, temperamentally disinclined to talk, untalkative, retiring, self-effacing. Diffident, showing modest reserve, lacking self-confidence, shy, timid, unsure. Engender, give rise to, beget, bring forth, father, generate, get, mother, sire. Audacious, willing to be bold in social situations or to take risks, brave, dauntless, fearless, hardy, intrepid, unfearing. Eclectic, comprised of a variety of styles. Ephemeral, lasting a very short time. Fugacious, passing, short-lived, transient, transitory. Mollify, to make someone angry, less angry, placate, season, temper. Abstain, choose not to consume or take part in particularly something enjoyable, desist, refrain. Supplant, take the place or move into the position of, replace, supersede, supersede, supervene upon. Itinerant, traveling from place to work, gypsy, gypsy. Ascetic, practicing self-denial, ascetical, austere, Spartan. Confound, be confusing or perplexing to, bedevil, befuddle, confuse, discombobulate, fox, fuddle, throw. Implacable, incapable of making less angry or hostile. Denigrate, charge falsely or with malicious intent, attack the good name and reputation of someone. Asperse, besmirch, calumniate, defame, slander, smear, smirch, sully. Apocryphal, being of questionable authenticity. Pragmatic, guided by practical experience and observation rather than theory. Hard-nosed, hard-headed, practical. Soporific, inducing mental lethargy, sleep-inducing. Hypnagogic, hypnagogic. Somniferous, somnific. Soporiferous, narcotic. Abstruse, difficult to understand, incomprehensible, deep, recondite. Burgeon, grow and flourish. Decorum, propriety in manners and conduct, decorousness. Austere, practicing self-denial. Ascetic, ascetical, Spartan. Accolade, an award or praise granted as a special honor. Award, honor, honor, laurels. Obsequious, attentive in an ingratiating or servile manner, attempting to win favor from influential people by flattery, bootlicking, fawning, sycophantic, toadyish. Dilettante, an amateur who engages in an activity without serious intentions and who pretends to have knowledge. Dabbler, stylist, dilettantish, dilettantish, scholastic. Foment, try to stir up public opinion. Agitate, stir up. Vacillate, be undecided about something, waver between conflicting positions or courses of action. Hover, oscillate, vibrate, fluctuate, waver. Admonish, to warn strongly, even to the point of reprimanding. Caution, monish. Repudiate, reject as untrue or unfounded. Garrulous, full of trivial conversation, chatty, gabby, loquacious, talkative, talky. Deleterious, harmful to living things, hurtful, injurious. Antipathy, an intense feeling of dislike or aversion. Aversion, distaste. Dilatory, wasting time. Laggard, pokey, pokey. Erudite, having or showing profound knowledge, learned. Specious, based on pretense, deceptively pleasing. Gilded, meretricious. Craven, pathetically cowardly. Recreant, capricious, determined by chance or impulse or whim rather than by necessity or reason. Impulsive, whimsical. Anomaly, something that is not normal, standard, or expected. Arduous, demanding considerable mental effort and skill, testing powers of endurance, straining, strenuous. Esoteric, confined to and understandable by only an enlightened inner circle. Bolster, support and strengthen. Placate, cause to be more favorably inclined, gain the goodwill of. Appease, assuage, conciliate, gentle, gruntle, lenify, mollify, pacify. Sedulous, done diligently and carefully, assiduous. Contentious, likely to argue, combative, disputatious, disputative, litigious. Choleric, prone to outbursts of temper, easily angered. Hot-tempered, hot-headed, irascible, quick-tempered, short-tempered. Pariah, an outcast, castaway, Ishmael. Churlish, lacking manners or refinement. Apogee, the highest point, culmination. Nadir, the lowest point, low water mark. Catholic, of broad scope, universal. Mettlesome, filled with courage or valor. Game, gamey, gamey, gritty, spirited, spunky. Curmudgeon, a grouchy, surly person. Maudlin, overly emotional and sad. Pathetic, drippy, hokey, kitschy, mawkish, mushy, schmaltzy, schmaltzy, sentimental, slushy, soppy, soupy. Quixotic, wildly idealistic, impractical, romantic, wild-eyed. Martinet, a strict disciplinarian, moralist. Imbroglio, a confusing and potentially embarrassing situation. Embroilment. Cupidity, greed for money. Avarice, avariciousness, covetousness. Sybarite, a person who indulges in luxury. Voluptuary. Vituperate, to criticize harshly, to berate. Rail, revile, vilify. Expurgate, to remove objectionable material. Bowdlerize, castrate, shorten. Umbrage, a feeling of anger caused by being offended. Offense, offense. Plucky, marked by courage and determination. Gutsy, feisty, spunky. Lugubrious, excessively mournful. Grandiloquent, puffed up with vanity. Overblown, pompous, pontifical, portentous. Lampoon, ridicule with satire. Satirize, Perspicacious, acutely insightful and wise. Sagacious, sapient. Sagacious, having good judgment and acute insight. Perspicacious, sapient. Solecism, a socially awkward or tactless act. Faux pas, gaffe, gaucherie, slip. Impute, attribute responsibility or fault to something. Ascribe, assign, attribute. Imperious, having or showing arrogant superiority to and disdain of those one views as unworthy. Disdainful, haughty, lordly, overbearing, prideful, sniffy, supercilious, swaggering. Ossify, make rigid and set into a conventional pattern, petrify, rigidify. Ribald, humorously vulgar. Body, off color. Unnerve, to make accustomed to something unpleasant. Harden, endure it. Rarefied, make more subtle or refined. Spartan, unsparing and uncompromising in discipline or judgment, practicing great self-denial, severe. Denouement, the final resolution of the many strands of a literary or dramatic work, the outcome of a complex sequence of events. Puerile, of or characteristic of a child displaying or suggesting a lack of maturity. Adolescent, jejune, juvenile. Impetuous, characterized by undue haste and lack of thought or deliberation. Brainish, hot-headed, impulsive, madcap, tearaway. Peripatetic, traveling by foot, wayfaring. Philistine, smug and ignorant towards artistic and cultural values. Anti-intellectual. Brook, put up with something or somebody unpleasant. Abide, bear, digest, endure, put up, stand, stick out, stomach, suffer, support, tolerate. Disingenuous, not straightforward, giving a false appearance of frankness. Artful. Chimera, something desired or wished for but is only an illusion and impossible to achieve. Arrogate, seize and control without authority, assume, seize, take over, usurp. Ersatz, not real or genuine, phony, substitute. Hoary, ancient, rusty. Impugn, attack as false or wrong. Pellucid, transparently clear, easily understandable. Crystal clear, limpid, lucid, luculent, perspicuous. Solicitous, showing hovering attentiveness. Fecund, intellectually productive, fertile, prolific. Enormity, an act of extreme wickedness, outrageousness. Tyro, someone new to a field or activity. Beginner, initiate, novice, tyro. Complaisant, showing a cheerful willingness to do favors for others. Obliging. Proscribe, command against, disallow, forbid, interdict, nix, prohibit, veto. Noisome, having an extremely bad smell. Fetid, fetid. Foul, foul-smelling, funky, ill-scented, smelly, stinking. Surfeit, an excessive amount of something. Excess, overabundance. Trenchant, characterized by or full of force and vigor, having keenness and forcefulness and penetration in thought, expression, or intellect. Hard-hitting, searching. Synonyms. Defective. Halcyon, idyllically calm and peaceful, suggesting happy tranquility marked by peace and prosperity. Golden, prosperous. Evanescent, tending to vanish like vapor. Lachrymose, showing sorrow. Dolorous, dolorous, tearful, weeping. Oblique, not straightforward, indirect, devious. Modicum, a small or moderate or token amount. Dissolution, a living full of debauchery and indulgence in sensual pleasure. Dissipation, licentiousness, looseness, profligacy. Ineluctable, impossible to avoid or evade. Candid, a straightforward and honest look at something. Blunt, forthright, frank, free-spoken, outspoken, plainspoken. Point blank, straight from the shoulder. Affluent, wealthy, amiable, friendly, affable, cordial, genial. Acme. The highest point of achievement. Elevation, height, meridian, peak, pinnacle, summit, superlative, tip-top, top. Erratic, unpredictable, strange and unconventional. Fickle, mercurial, quicksilver. Reprobate, a person who is disapproved of. Miscreant. Zenith, the highest point, culmination. Unconscionable, unreasonable, unscrupulous, excessive. Exorbitant, extortionate, outrageous, steep, usurious. Misanthrope, a hater of mankind. Misanthropist. Chauvinist, a person who believes in the superiority of their group. Flag waver, 100%er. Jingo, jingoist, patrioteer. Corroborate, to confirm or lend support to usually an idea or claim. Affirm, confirm, substantiate, sustain, bear out, support, underpin. Exhort, to strongly urge on, encourage. Barrack, cheer, inspire, pep up, root on, urge, urge on. Errant, to be wandering, not sticking to a circumscribed path. Animosity, intense hostility. Replete, completely stocked or furnished with something. Sanguine, cheerful, optimistic. Florid, rubicund, ruddy. Paucity, a lack of something. Dearth. Impermeable, does not allow fluids to pass through. Transitory, lasting a very short time. Ephemeral, fugacious, passing, short-lived, transient. Morose, ill-tempered and not inclined to talk. Gloomy, dark, dour, glowering, glum, moody, saturnine, sour, sullen. Resolve, reach a conclusion after a discussion or deliberation. Conclude. Dearth, a lack or shortage. Famine, shortage, paucity. Impede, be a hindrance or obstacle to. Hinder, block, close up, jam, obstruct, obturate, occlude. Jocular, characterized by jokes and good humor. Jesting, jocose, joking. Facetious, cleverly amusing in tone. Bantering, tongue-in-cheek. Benign, kind. Martial, suggesting war or military life. Warlike, soldier-like, soldierly, warrior-like. Perennial, lasting an indefinitely long time, eternal, everlasting. Jargon, a characteristic language of a particular group. Argot, cant, lingo, patois, slang, vernacular. Assail, attack in speech or writing. Assault, attack, lash out, round, snipe. Tawdry, tastelessly showy, cheap and shoddy. Brassy, cheap, flash, flashy, garish, gaudy. Gimcrack, loud, meretricious. Tacky, tatty, trashy, cheap jack, shoddy. Irresolute, uncertain how to act or proceed. Grovel, show submission or fear. Cower, crawl, creep, cringe, fawn. Altruism, the quality of unselfish concern for the welfare of others. Selflessness. Surly, inclined to anger or bad feelings with overtones of menace. Ugly. Placid, not easily irritated. Equable, even-tempered, good-tempered. Leery, openly distrustful and unwilling to confide. Mistrustful, suspicious, untrusting, wary. Obstinate, resistant to guidance or discipline, stubbornly persistent. Cussed, obdurate, unrepentant, contrary, perverse, wayward. Goad, urge on with unpleasant comments. Prick, needle. Conundrum, a difficult problem. Brain teaser, enigma, riddle. Precarious, fraught with danger. Parlous, perilous, touch and go. Eccentric, highly unconventional or unusual, usually describes a person. Eccentric person. Flake, geek, oddball. Fawn, try to gain favor by extreme flattery. Bootlick, cateau, kowtow, suck up, toady, truckle. Wanton, without check or limitation, showing no moral restraints to one's anger, desire, or appetite. Easy, light, loose, promiscuous, sluttish. Buttress, make stronger or defensible. Presumptuous, excessively forward, assuming, assumptive. Redress, an act of making something right. Remediation, remedy. Futile, producing no result or effect, unproductive of success. Ineffectual, otiose, unavailing. Bootless, fruitless, sleeveless, vain. Aphorism, a short instructive saying about a general truth. Apothegm, apothegm. Perquisite, a right reserved exclusively by a particular person or group, especially a hereditary or official right. Exclusive right, prerogative, privilege. Synonyms: cut, disregard, ignore, rebuff, repel. Enumerate, determine the number or amount of. Count, number, numerate. Debunk, expose as false ideas and claims, especially while ridiculing, expose. Misogynist, a person who dislikes women in particular, woman hater. Relegate, assign to a lower position. Break, bump, demote, kick downstairs. Restive, restless, edgy, high-strung, highly strung. Jittery, jumpy, nervy, overstrung, uptight. Parochial, narrowly restricted in scope or outlook, insular. Harangue, a long pompous speech, a tirade, rant, ranting. Amenable, easily persuaded. Conformable, tractable. Iconoclast, somebody who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions. Disinterested, unbiased, neutral. Frugal, not spending much money but spending wisely. Economical, Scotch, sparing, stinting. Intimate, to suggest something subtly. Adumbrate, insinuate. Censure, to express strong disapproval. Animadversion. Auspicious, favorable, the opposite of sinister. Amorphous, shapeless, formless, shapeless, unstructured. Profligate, spending resources recklessly or wastefully. Extravagant, prodigal, spendthrift. Ingenuous, to be naïve and innocent, innocent. Mercurial, of a person prone to unexpected and unpredictable changes in mood. Erratic, fickle, quicksilver. Upbraid, to reproach, to scold. Ambivalent, mixed or conflicting emotions about something. Extant, still in existence, usually refers to documents. Artful, exhibiting artistic skill. Castigate, to reprimand harshly. Chasten, chastise. Correct, objurgate. Dogmatic, highly opinionated, not accepting that your belief may not be correct. Gossamer, characterized by unusual lightness and delicacy. Ethereal. Platitude, a trite or obvious remark. Banality, bromide, cliché, commonplace. Fortuitous, occurring by happy chance, having no cause or apparent cause. Causeless, uncaused. Didactic, instructive, especially excessively. didactical, inexorable, impossible to stop or prevent, adamant, adamantine, intransigent, decorous, characterized by good taste in manners and conduct, obscure, make unclear, becloud, befog, cloud, fog, haze over, mist, obnubilate, germane, relevant and appropriate, gainsay, deny or contradict, speak against or oppose, challenge, dispute, eschew, avoid and stay away from, deliberately stay clear of, shun, querulous, habitually complaining, fretful, whiny, rustic, characteristic of rural life, awkwardly simple and provincial, countrified, bumpkinly, hick, unsophisticated, recondite, difficult to penetrate, incomprehensible to one of ordinary understanding or knowledge, abstruse, deep, jingoism, fanatical patriotism, chauvinism, superpatriotism, ultranationalism, immutable, not able to be changed, changeless, languid, not inclined towards physical exertion or effort, slow and relaxed, dreamy, lackadaisical, languorous, refractory, stubbornly resistant to authority or control, fractious, recalcitrant, fallacious, of a belief that is based on faulty reasoning, unsound. Synonyms: quotidian, found in the ordinary course of events, everyday, mundane, routine, unremarkable, workaday, unequivocal, admitting of no doubt or misunderstanding, having only one meaning or interpretation and leading to only one conclusion, unambiguous, univocal, guileless, free of deceit, transparent, travesty, an absurd presentation of something, a mockery, farce, farce comedy, burlesque, charade, lampoon, mockery, parody, pasquinade, put on, send up, spoof, take off, derivative, or a creative product, music, writing, etc., not original but drawing on the work of another person. Juxtapose, place side by side, panache, distinctive and stylish elegance, dash, élan, flair, style. Delineate, describe in detail, eminent, standing above others in quality or position, lofty, soaring, towering. Ignoble, dishonorable, ungentle, untitled. Refute, prove to be false or incorrect, controvert, rebut. Ingratiate, gain favor with somebody by deliberate efforts. Idiosyncrasy, a behavioral attribute that is distinctive and peculiar to an individual, foible, mannerism. Petulant, easily irritated or annoyed, cranky, fractious, irritable, nettlesome, peckish, peevish, pettish, scratchy, techy, testy, tetchy. Tortuous, marked by repeated turns and bends, not straightforward, twisting, twisty, voluminous, winding. Copious, in abundant supply, ample, plenteous, plentiful, rich, voluminous. Myopic, lacking foresight or imagination, short, short-sighted, unforesightful. Laudable, worthy of high praise, applaudable, commendable, praiseworthy. Intransigent, unwilling to change one's beliefs or course of action. Adamant, adamantine, inexorable. Pedantic, marked by a narrow focus on or display of learning, especially its trivial aspects. Academic, donnish. Discrete, constituting a separate entity or part, distinct. incorrigible, impervious to correction by punishment, hackneyed, lacking significance through having been overused, banal, commonplace, old hat, shop-worn, stock, threadbare, time-worn, tired, trite, well-worn, iconoclastic, defying tradition or convention, opaque, not clearly understood or expressed, unintelligible, acerbic, harsh in tone, acerb, acid, acrid, bitter, blistering, caustic, sulfurous, sulfurose, virulent, vitriolic, exonerate, pronounce not guilty of criminal charges, acquit, assoil, clear, discharge, exculpate, ostentatious, intended to attract notice and impress others, tawdry or vulgar, pretentious, gauche, lacking social polish, graceless, unpolished, sycophant, a person who tries to please someone in order to gain a personal advantage, ass-kisser, crawler, lackey, toady, taciturn, habitually reserved and uncommunicative, inveterate, habitual, chronic, arcane, requiring secret or mysterious knowledge, inimical, hostile usually describes conditions or environments, unfriendly, reverent, feeling or showing profound respect or veneration, godly, worshipful, hegemony, dominance over a certain area, lionize, assign great social importance to, celebrate, lionize, prolific, intellectually productive, fecund, fertile, antithetical, sharply contrasted in character or purpose, antithetic, myriad, a large indefinite number, countless, infinite, innumerable, innumerous, multitudinous, numberless, uncounted, unnumberable, unnumbered, unnumerable, intrepid, fearless, audacious, brave, dauntless, fearless, hardy, unfearing, winsome, charming in a childlike or naive way, audacity, aggressive boldness in social situations, audaciousness, temerity, circumscribe, restrict or confine, limit, rescind, cancel officially, annul, countermand, lift, overturn, repeal, reverse, revoke, vacate, sporadic, recurring in scattered and irregular or unpredictable instances, pedestrian, lacking imagination, earthbound, prosaic, prosy, pernicious, exceedingly harmful, working or spreading in a hidden and injurious way, baneful, deadly, pestilent, insidious, subtle, prodigious, so great in size or force or extent as to elicit awe, colossal, stupendous, sanction, give authority or permission to. Synonyms: approve, okay, tractable, readily reacting to suggestions and influences, easily managed, controlled or taught or molded, amenable, manipulable, poignant, emotionally touching, affecting, touching, nonplussed, unsure how to act or respond, disseminate, cause to become widely known, broadcast, circularize, circulate, diffuse, disperse, distribute, pass around, propagate, spread, posit, assume as fact, postulate, polemic, a strong verbal or written attack on someone or something, mundane, repetitive and boring, not spiritual, elicit, call forth emotions, feelings, and responses, arouse, enkindle, evoke, fire, kindle, provoke, raise, reproach, to express criticism towards, upbraid, nuance, a subtle difference in meaning or opinion or attitude, nicety, refinement, shade, subtlety. Pejorative, expressing disapproval, dyslogistic, dyslogistic. Maverick, someone who exhibits great independence in thought and action, rebel. Furtive, marked by quiet and caution and secrecy, taking pains to avoid being observed, sneak, sneaky, stealthy, surreptitious. Fastidious, overly concerned with details, fussy, exacting. Base, the lowest class were without any moral principles. Foot, foundation, fundament, groundwork, substructure, understructure. Malfeasance, misconduct or wrongdoing, especially by a public official. Overweening, arrogant, presumptuous, excessive, extravagant, exuberant, uppity. Lascivious, lecherous, sexually perverted. Lewd, libidinous, lustful. Chary, cautious, suspiciously reluctant to do something. Cagey, cagey. Errant, complete and wholly, usually modifying a noun with negative connotation. Complete, consummate, double-dyed, everlasting, gross, perfect. Pure, sodding, staring, stark, thoroughgoing, unadulterated, utter. Feckless, lazy and irresponsible, inept. Byzantine, intricate and complex, convoluted, involved, knotty, tangled, tortuous. Turpitude, depravity, a depraved act. Penurious, lacking money, poor. Hard up, impecunious, in straitened circumstances. Penniless, pinched, parsimonious. Truculent, having a fierce, savage nature. Untoward, unfavorable, inconvenient. Indecent, indecorous, unbecoming, uncomely, unseemly, adverse, inauspicious. Prosaic, dull and lacking imagination. Earthbound, pedestrian, prosy, commonplace. Humdrum, unglamorous, unglamorous. Ponderous, weighed down, moving slowly. Heavy, lumbering. Anathema, a detested person, the source of somebody's hate. Bet nori. Saturnine, morose or gloomy. Dark, dour, glowering, glum, moody, morose, sour, sullen. Supercilious, haughty and disdainful, looking down on others. Disdainful, haughty, imperious, lordly, overbearing, prideful, sniffy, swaggering. Excoriate, to criticize very harshly. Condemn, decry, objurgate, reprobate. Tendentious, likely to lean towards a controversial view. Tendentious. Sartorial, related to fashion or clothes. Peremptory, bossy and domineering. Autocratic, bossy, dominating, high and mighty, magisterial. Remonstrate, to make objections while pleading. Bawl out, berate, call down, call on the carpet. Chew out, chew up, chide, dress down. Have words, jaw, lambast, lambaste, lecture, rag, rebuke, reprimand, reproof, scold, take to task, trounce. Mellifluous, smooth and sweet-sounding. Dulcet, honeyed, melisonant, sweet. Histrionic, to be overly theatrical, melodramatic. Hedge, to limit or qualify a statement to avoid making a direct statement. Circumvent, dodge, duck, elude. Evade, fudge, parry, put off, sidestep, skirt. Gerrymander. To manipulate voting districts in order to favor a particular political party. Jejune. Dull, lacking flavor. Insubstantial, insipid, immature, childish, adolescent, juvenile, puerile. Juggernaut. A force that cannot be stopped, steamroller. Duplicity. Deceitfulness. Pretending to want one thing but interested in something else. Fraudulence. Provident. Careful in regard to your own interests, providing carefully for the future. Portentous. Ominously prophetic, fateful, foreboding. Redoubtable. Inspiring fear or awe. Formidable, unnerving. Litany. Any long and tedious account of something. Quail. Draw back, as with fear or pain. Cringe, flinch, funk, recoil, shrink, squinch, wince. Charlatan. A flamboyant deceiver, one who attracts customers with tricks or jokes. Mountebank. Maunder. Wander aimlessly. Punctilious. Marked by precise accordance with details, meticulous. Primacy. The state of being first in importance. Dovetail. Fit together tightly, as if by means of an interlocking joint, dovetail joint. Patent. Glaringly obvious, apparent, evident, manifest, plain, unmistakable. Corollary. A practical consequence that follows naturally. Intimation. An indirect suggestion, breath, hint. Hubris. Overbearing pride or presumption. Equitable. Fair to all parties as dictated by reason and conscience, just. Inimitable. Defying imitation, matchless. Puissant. Powerful. Untenable. Of theories etc. incapable of being defended or justified. Indefensible. Obstreperous. Noisily and stubbornly defiant, willfully difficult to control, casual, insouciant. Atavism. A reappearance of an earlier characteristic, throwback. Reversion, throwback. Apothegm. A short, pithy instructive saying, aphorism, apothegm. Objurgate. Express strong disapproval of. Condemn, decry, excoriate, reprobate. Pith. The most essential part of something. Center, core, essence. Gist. Heart, heart and soul. Inwardness, kernel, marrow. Meat, nitty-gritty. Nub, substance, sum. Chagrin. Strong feelings of embarrassment, humiliation, mortification. Nettlesome. Causing irritation or annoyance. Annoying, bothersome. Galling, irritating. Pesky, pestering. Pestiferous. Plaguey, teasing. Vexatious, vexing. Unstinting. Very generous, lavish, munificent, overgenerous, too generous, unsparing, unstinted. Truculence. Defiant aggressiveness, truculency. Vitriol. Abusive or venomous language used to express blame or bitter deep-seated ill will. Invective, vituperation. Artifice. Cunning tricks used to deceive others. Ruse. Chastise. To reprimand harshly. Castigate, chasten, correct, objurgate. Epigram. A witty saying, quip. Baleful. Threatening or foreshadowing evil or tragic developments. Forbidding, menacing, menacious, minatory, ominous, sinister, threatening. Exemplar. Something to be imitated. Example, good example, model. Squelch. suppress or crush completely, quell, quench. Obtuse, slow to learn or understand, lacking intellectual acuity, lacking in insight or discernment. Dense, dim, dull, dumb, slow. Autocratic, characteristic of an absolute ruler or absolute rule, having absolute sovereignty. Authoritarian, despotic, dictatorial, tyrannic, tyrannical. Callow, young and inexperienced. Fledgling, unfledged. Stultify, cause one, through routine, to lose energy and enthusiasm, cripple. Internecine, of conflict within a group or organization. Facile, arrived at without due care or effort, lacking depth. Ethereal, characterized by lightness and insubstantiality. Aerial, aeriform, airy, airy. Concomitant, describing an event or situation that happens at the same time as or in connection with another. Accompaniment, attendant, co-occurrence. Dissipate, squander or spend money frivolously. Fool, fool away. Fritter, fritter away. Frivol away, shoot. Cataclysm, an event resulting in great loss and misfortune. Calamity, catastrophe, disaster, tragedy. Capitulate, to surrender, usually under agreed conditions. Infelicitous, inappropriate. Panacea, hypothetical remedy for all ills or diseases, a universal solution. Catholic on, cure all, nostrum. Graft, corruption, usually through bribery. Chauvinism, fanatical patriotism, belief that one's group cause is superior to all other groups' causes. Jingoism, superpatriotism, ultranationalism. Pillory, ridicule or expose to public scorn. Gibbet, promulgate, state or announce, exclaim, proclaim. Veritable, truthfully, without a doubt, authentic, bona fide, unquestionable. Despot, a cruel and oppressive dictator. Autocrat, tyrant. Obtain, be valid, applicable, or true, hold, prevail. Verisimilitude, the appearance of truth. Extrapolate, draw from specific cases for more general cases. Generalize, generalize, infer. Splenetic, very irritable, bristly, prickly, waspish. Hoodwink, to deceive or trick someone. Bamboozle, led by the nose, play false, pull the wool over someone's eyes. Snow. Indignant, feeling anger over a perceived injustice. Incensed, outraged, umbrageous. Spendthrift, one who spends money extravagantly. Scattergood, spend all, spender. Pine, to yearn for, ache, languish, yearn, yen. Tender, offer up something formally, bid. Vindictive, to have a very strong desire for revenge. Profuse, plentiful, pouring out in abundance. Exuberant, lush, luxuriant, riotous. Peruse, to read very carefully. Indigenous, originating in a certain area. Autochthonal, autochthonic, autochthonous, endemic. Mesmerize, to spellbind or enthrall. Bewitch, magnetize, magnetize, mesmerize. Affable, likable, easy to talk to. Amiable, cordial, genial. Voracious, very hungry, approaching an activity with gusto. Edacious, esurient, rapacious, ravening, ravenous, wolfish. Sanctimonious, making a show of being pious. Holier than thou, holier than thou. Pharisaic, pharisaical, pietistic, pietistic, self-righteous. Heyday, the pinnacle or top of a time period or career. Bloom, blossom, efflorescence, flower, flush, peak, prime. Scintillating, describes someone who is brilliant and lively, a glitter, coruscant, fulgid. Glinting, glistering, glittering, glittery, scintillant, sparkly, bubbling, effervescent, frothy. Apex, the highest point, acme, peak, vertex. Bellicose, warlike, inclined to quarrel, battleful, combative. Pugnacious, eager to fight or argue, verbally combative. Junta, an aggressive takeover by a group, usually military. Hodgepodge, a confusing mixture or jumble. Farrago, gallimaufry, hodgepodge, melange, mingle mangle, mishmash, oddments, odds and ends, omnium gatherum, ragbag. Preemptive, done before someone else can do it. Consummate, having or revealing supreme mastery or skill. Masterful, masterly, virtuoso. Elusive, difficult to capture or difficult to remember. Baffling, knotty, problematic, problematical, tough. Discriminate, recognize or perceive the difference. Know apart, separate. Quandary, state of uncertainty or perplexity, especially as requiring a choice between equally unfavorable options. Dilemma. Avid, marked by active interest and enthusiasm. Zealous. Patronize, treat condescendingly, condescend, patronize. Renege, fail to fulfill a promise or obligation. Go back on, renege on, renege on. Ascendancy, the state that exists when one person or group has power over another. Ascendance, ascendance, ascendancy, control, dominance. Incessant, uninterrupted in time and indefinitely long continuing. Ceaseless, constant, never-ending. Perpetual, unceasing, unremitting. Pithy, concise and full of meaning, sententious. Fledgling, young and inexperienced, describing any new participant in some activity. Callow, unfledged, entrant, fledgling. Freshman, neophyte, newbie, newcomer, starter. Euphoria, a feeling of great, usually exaggerated elation, euphoria. Cornucopia, an abundant supply of something good. Profuseness, profusion, richness. Debase, reduce the quality or value of something. Adulterate, dilute, load, stretch. Vacuous, devoid of intelligence, matter, or significance. Asinine, fatuous, inane, mindless, empty, hollow. Impeccable, without fault or error, faultless, immaculate. Credence, belief in something. Illicit, contrary to or forbidden by law. Illegitimate, outlaw, outlawed, unlawful. Conducive, making a situation or outcome more likely to happen. Inadvertent, happening by chance or unexpectedly or unintentionally, accidental. Urbane, showing a high degree of refinement and the assurance that comes from wide social experience. Polished, refined, svelte. Augment, enlarge or increase, improve. Fickle, liable to sudden unpredictable change, especially in affections or attachments. Erratic, mercurial, quicksilver. Genteel, marked by refinement in taste and manners. Civilized, civilized, cultivated, cultured, polite. Pertinent, having precise or logical relevance to the matter at hand, apposite, apt. Travail, use of physical or mental energy, hard work, agony or anguish, effort, elbow grease, exertion, sweat. Exasperate, to irritate intensely, aggravate, exacerbate, worsen, incense, infuriate. Perturb, disturb in mind or cause to be worried or alarmed, cark, disorder, disquiet, distract, trouble, unhinge. Exemplify, be characteristic of, represent. Tout, advertise in strongly positive terms, show off, blow, bluster, boast, brag, gas, gasconade, shoot a line, swash, bont. Foible, a behavioral attribute that is distinctive and peculiar to an individual, idiosyncrasy, mannerism. Destitute, poor enough to need help from others, impoverished, indigent, necessitous, needy, poverty-stricken. Unseemly, not in keeping with accepted standards of what is right or proper in polite society, indecent, indecorous, unbecoming, uncomely, untoward. Collusion, agreement on a secret plot, connivance. Maxim, a short saying expressing a general truth, axiom. Squander, spend thoughtlessly, waste time, money, or an opportunity, blow, waste, consume, wear. Malevolent, wishing or appearing to wish evil to others arising from intense ill will or hatred, evil, malefic, malign. Unprecedented, having never been done or known before, novel. Pastoral, relating to the countryside in a pleasant sense, Arcadian, bucolic. Belittle, lessen the importance, dignity, or reputation of, diminish, denigrate, derogate, minimize. Melancholy, a deep, long-lasting sadness. Cerebral, involving intelligence rather than emotions or instinct, intellectual. Piquant, having an agreeably pungent taste. Savory, spicy, zesty. Preempt, take the place of or have precedence over, displace. Uncanny, suggesting the operation of supernatural influences surpassing the ordinary or normal. Eldritch, unearthly, weird, preternatural. Profusion, the property of being extremely abundant. Cornucopia, profuseness, richness. Clemency, leniency and compassion shown toward offenders by a person or agency charged with administering justice, mercifulness, mercy. Incense, make furious, exasperate, infuriate. Ascribe, attribute or credit to, assign, attribute, impute. Antedate, precede in time, antecede, forego, precede, predate, foredate. Consecrate, to make holy or set apart for a high purpose, bless, hallow, sanctify. Docile, easily handled or managed, willing to be taught or led or supervised or directed, gentle. Qualm, uneasiness about the fitness of an action, misgiving, scruple. Balk, refuse to comply. Balk, jib, resist. Discreet, careful to protect one's speech or actions in order to avoid offense or gain an advantage. Besiege, harass, as with questions or requests cause to feel distressed or worried. Beleaguer, circumvent, hem in, surround. Abysmal, extremely bad. Abyssal, unfathomable. Stymie, hinder or prevent the progress or accomplishment of. Block, blockade, embarrass, hinder, obstruct, stymie. Champion, to fight for a cause, defend. Carping, persistently petty and unjustified criticism, fault-finding. Convivial, describing a lively atmosphere. Complementary, enhancing each other's qualities for two things or more. Complemental, completing. Dispatch, the property of being prompt and efficient. Dispatch, expedition, expeditiousness. Boorish, ill-mannered and coarse or contemptible in behavior or appearance. Loutish, Neanderthal, Neanderthal, oafish, swinish. Sordid, involving ignoble actions and motives arousing moral distaste and contempt. Foul and run-down and repulsive. Seamy, seedy, sleazy, squalid, fly-blown. Cosmopolitan, comprising many cultures, global in reach and outlook. Ecumenical, general, ecumenical, universal, worldwide, worldwide. Miscreant, a person who breaks the law. Reprobate, egregious, standing out in negative way, shockingly bad. Crying, flagrant, glaring, gross, rank. Qualify, to be eligible for a role, status, or benefit by meeting specific requirements. Measure up. Undermine, to weaken, usually paired with an abstract term. Galvanize, to excite or inspire someone to action. Galvanize, startle. Equivocal, confusing or ambiguous. Anomalous, not normal. Chastise, to reprimand harshly. Castigate, chasten, correct, objurgate. Venality, the condition of being susceptible to bribes or corruption. Veracious, truthful, right. Cryptic, mysterious or vague, usually intentionally. Kabbalistic, cryptical, kabbalistic, kabbalistic, sibylline. Predilection, a strong liking. Penchant, preference, taste. Preclude, keep from happening or arising, make impossible. Forbid, foreclose, forestall, prevent. Concede, acknowledge defeat. Incisive, having or demonstrating ability to recognize or draw fine distinctions. Acute, discriminating. Keen, knife-like, penetrating, penetrative, piercing, sharp. Apathetic, marked by a lack of interest, indifferent. Prescience, the power to foresee the future, prevision. Superfluous, serving no useful purpose. Otiose, pointless, purposeless, senseless, wasted. Vociferous, conspicuously and offensively loud, given to vehement outcry. Blatant, clamant, clamorous, strident. Culminate, reach the highest or most decisive point, climax. Culpability, a state of guilt, blameworthiness, culpableness. Impudent, improperly forward or bold. Arch, audacious, bold, bold-faced. Brash, brass-bound, brassy, brazen, brazen-faced. Cheeky, cocksure. Cocky, fresh, impertinent, nervy, insolent, sassy, saucy, wise. Aesthete, one who professes great sensitivity to the beauty of art and nature. Aesthete. Glut, an excessive supply, oversupply, surfeit. Denote, be a sign or indication of, have as a meaning, refer. Insidious, working in a subtle but destructive way. Pernicious, subtle. Avaricious, excessively greedy. Covetous, grabby, grasping, greedy, prehensile. Treacherous, tending to betray. perfidious, punic, subsume, contain or include, incongruous, lacking in harmony or compatibility or appropriateness, rudimentary, being in the earliest stages of development, being or involving basic facts or principles, fundamental, underlying, spurious, plausible but false, specious, circumvent, cleverly find a way out of one's duties or obligations, dodge, duck, elude, evade, fudge, hedge, parry, put off, sidestep, skirt, vilify, spread negative information about, rail, revile, vituperate, tenacious, stubbornly unyielding, dogged, dour, persistent, pertinacious, unyielding, belligerent, characteristic of one eager to fight, aggressive, magnanimous, noble and generous in spirit, especially towards a rival or someone less powerful, great-hearted, staunch, firm and dependable especially in loyalty, steadfast, unswerving, adamant, refusing to change one's mind, adamantine, inexorable, intransigent, underscore, give extra weight to a communication, emphasize, underline, construe, interpreted in a particular way, interpret, see, pundit, someone who has been admitted to membership in a scholarly field, initiate, learned person, savant, temperance, the trait of avoiding excesses, moderation, sobriety, largesse, extreme generosity and giving, largesse, magnanimity, munificence, open-handedness, blatant, without any attempt at concealment, completely obvious, blazing, conspicuous, provincial, characteristic of the limited perspective, not fashionable or sophisticated, exacting, requiring and demanding accuracy, exigent, stern, strict, exalt, praise or glorify, extol, glorify, laud, proclaim, admonitory, serving to warn, expressing reproof or reproach especially as a corrective, cautionary, exemplary, monitora, warning, contingent, a gathering of persons representative of some larger group, implausible, describing a statement that is not believable, far-fetched, espouse, to adopt or support an idea or cause, adopt, embrace, sweep up, insolent, rude and arrogant, munificent, very generous, lavish, overgenerous, too generous, unsparing, unstinted, unstinting, trite, repeated too often, overfamiliar through overuse, banal, commonplace, hackneyed, old hat, shop-worn, stock, threadbare, time-worn, tired, well-worn, inscrutable, not easily understood, unfathomable, cryptic, cryptical, deep, mysterious, mystifying, propitious, presenting favorable circumstances likely to result in or show signs of success, brazen, unrestrained by convention or propriety, audacious, bald-faced, burr-faced, bodacious, brassy, brazen-faced, insolent, subversive, in opposition to a civil authority or government, insurgent, seditious, arbitrary, based on a random, groundless decision, precipitous, done with very great haste and without due deliberation, hasty, over-hasty, precipitant, precipitate, irrevocable, incapable of being retracted or revoked, irrevocable, resurgent, rising again as to new life and vigor, renascent, Mendacity, the tendency to be untruthful. Appease, pacify by acceding to the demands of. Assuage, conciliate, gentle, gruntle, lenify, mollify, pacify, placate. Flux, a state of uncertainty about what should be done, usually following some important event. Maladroit, clumsy, rebuke, criticize severely or angrily, censure, bawl out, berate, call down, call on the carpet, chew out, chew up, chide, dress down. Have words, jaw, lambast, lambaste, lecture, rag, remonstrate, reprimand, reproof, scold, take to task, trounce. Contrition, the feeling of remorse or guilt that comes from doing something bad. Attrition, contriteness. Transient, lasting a very short time. Ephemeral, fugacious, passing, short-lived, transitory. Edifying, enlightening or uplifting so as to encourage intellectual or moral improvement, enlightening. Dispassionate, unaffected by strong emotion or prejudice, cold-eyed. Indecorous, not in keeping with accepted standards of what is right or proper in polite society. Indecent, unbecoming, uncomely, unseemly, untoward. Timorous, timid by nature or revealing fear and nervousness, fearful, trepid. Impartial, free from undue bias or preconceived opinions, unprejudiced. Beg, to evade or dodge a question. Jingoist, a person who thinks that their country should be at war. Chauvinist, flag waver, 100%er. Jingo, patrioteer. Factious, produced by, or characterized by internal dissension, dissentious, divisive. Kowtow, to bow or act in a subservient manner. Bootlick, fawn, cateau, suck up, toady, truckle. Expansive, communicative, and prone to talking in a sociable manner, talkative. Insufferable, intolerable, difficult to endure, impossible, unacceptable, unsufferable. Indigent, poor having very little. Destitute, impoverished, necessitous, needy, poverty-stricken. Expunge, to eliminate completely. Excise, scratch, strike. Defray, to help pay the cost of, either in part or full. Cow, to intimidate, overawe. Exegesis, critical explanation or analysis, especially of a text. Conciliate, to make peace with. Appease, assuage, gentle, gruntle, lenify, mollify, pacify, placate. Imbibe, to drink or absorb as if drinking, absorb, draw, soak up, sop up, suck, suck up, take in, take up. Zeitgeist, spirit of the times. Hector, to bully or intimidate. Ballyrag, boss around. Browbeat, bully, bully rag, push around, strong arm. Quisling, a traitor, collaborationist, collaborator. Bilious, irritable, always angry. Atrabilious, dyspeptic, liverish. Venial, easily excused or forgiven, pardonable, excusable, forgivable. Arch, to be deliberately teasing, condescending, patronizing, patronizing. Parvenu, a person who has suddenly become wealthy, but not socially accepted as part of a higher class. Reviste, nouveau riche, upstart. Jaundice, to be biased against due to envy or prejudice. Fell, terribly evil, barbarous, brutal, cruel, roughshod, savage, vicious. Picayune, trifling or petty a person, fiddling, footling, Lilliputian, little, niggling, petty, piddling, piffling, trivial. Factitious, artificial not natural, sententious, to be moralizing, usually in a pompous sense. Pyrrhic, describing a victory that comes at such a great cost that the victory is not worthwhile. Execrate, to curse and hiss at, accurse, anathematize, anathematize, anathemize, anathemize, comminate. Palimpsest, something that has been changed numerous times but on which traces of former iterations can still be seen. Sang-froid, calmness or poise in difficult situations. Uribiste, a person who has recently reached a position of power, a social climber, nouveau riche, parvenu, upstart. Mulct, to defraud or swindle. Bunco, con, defraud, diddle, gip, goldbrick, jip, hornswoggle, nobble, rook, scam, short change, swindle, victimize. Pollyannaist, extremely optimistic, cheerful, upbeat. Blinkered, to have a limited outlook or understanding. Schadenfreude, joy from watching the suffering of others. Protean, readily taking on different roles, versatile. Benighted, fallen into a state of ignorance, nighted, dark. Malapropism, the confusion of a word with another word that sounds similar, malaprop. Phantasmagorical, elusive, unreal. Phantasmagoric, surreal, surrealistic. Insouciance, lack of concern. Carefreeness, lightheartedness, lightsomeness. Derelict, of a person not doing one's duties. Delinquent, neglectful, remiss. Prognostication, a statement made about the future, forecasting, foretelling, prediction. Prolixity, boring verbosity, long-windedness, prolixness, windiness, wordiness. Enthrall, hold spellbound. Delight, enchant, enrapture, enthrill, ravish, transport. Hail, enthusiastically acclaim or celebrate something, herald. Mordant, biting and caustic in thought, manner, or style. Caustic, corrosive, erosive, vitriolic, black, grim. Recapitulation, a summary. Think of recap, recap, review. Gaffe, a socially awkward or tactless act. Faux pas, gaucherie, slip, solecism. Temerity, fearless daring. Audaciousness, audacity. Cede, relinquish possession or control. Ove, deliver, give up, surrender. R. Flummox, be a mystery or bewildering. To amaze, baffle, beat, bewilder. Dumbfound, get, gravel, mystify. Nonplus, perplex, pose, puzzle, stick, stupefy, vex. Anemic, lacking energy and vigor. Anemic. Epiphany, a sudden revelation or moment of insight. Semblance, an outward or token appearance or form that is deliberately misleading. Color, color, gloss. Enjoin, give instructions to or direct somebody to do something with authority. Order, say, tell. Moribund, being on the point of death, declining rapidly, losing all momentum in progress, stagnant. Approbatory, expressing praise or approval. Affirmative, approbative, approving, plosive. Bowdlerize. Edit by omitting or modifying parts considered indelicate, bowdlerize, castrate, expurgate, shorten. Unforthcoming. Incooperative, not willing to give up information. Artlessness. The quality of innocence, ingenuousness, innocence, naturalness. Illustrious. Widely known and esteemed, having or conferring glory. Celebrated, famed, famous, far famed, notable, noted, renowned. Vitriolic. Harsh or corrosive in tone. Acerb, acerbic, acid, acrid, bitter, blistering, caustic, sulphurous, sulphurose, virulent. Pecuniary. Relating to or involving money, monetary. Hagiographic. Excessively flattering toward someone's life or work. Importuned. Beg persistently and urgently. Hobble. To hold back the progress of something. Gimp, hitch, limp. Lacerate. Deeply hurt the feelings of distress. Inviolate. Must be kept sacred. Inviolable, sacrosanct. Crestfallen. Brought low in spirit. Chapfallen, chopfallen, deflated. Firebrand. Someone who deliberately creates trouble. Inciter, instigant, instigator, provoker. Magisterial. Offensively self-assured or given to exercising unwarranted power. Autocratic, bossy, dominating, high and mighty, peremptory. Decry. Express strong disapproval of. Condemn, excoriate, objurgate, reprobate. Flippant. Showing inappropriate levity, light-minded. Incontrovertible. Necessarily or demonstrably true, impossible to deny or disprove. Demonstrable, irrefutable, positive. Celerity. Speed, rapidity, quickness, rapidity, rapidness, speediness. Irrefutable. Impossible to deny or disprove. Incontrovertible, positive. Recrimination. Mutual accusations. Presentiment. A feeling of evil to come. Boding, foreboding, premonition. Crystallize. Cause to take on a definite and clear shape. Crystallize, crystallize, crystallize. Dispensation. An exemption from a rule or obligation. Tempestuous. As if driven by turbulent or conflicting emotions, highly energetic and wildly changing or fluctuating. Angry, furious, raging, wild. Encumber. Hold back. Constrain, cumber, restrain. Subterfuge. Something intended to misrepresent the true nature of an activity, blind. Unpropitious. Of a circumstance with little chance of success. Surreptitious. Stealthy, taking pains not to be caught or detected. Furtive, sneak, sneaky, stealthy. Immure. To enclose, usually in walls, jail, imprison, incarcerate, jail, jug, lag, put away, put behind bars, remand. Machinate. Engage in plotting or enter into a conspiracy. Swear together, cabal, complot, conjure, conspire. Stalwart. Dependable, inured to fatigue or hardships. Stout, hardy, sturdy. Nonchalant. Coming across as uninterested or unconcerned, overly casual, casual, insouciant. Unflappable. Not easily perturbed or excited or upset, marked by extreme calm and composure, imperturbable. Improvident. Not given careful consideration, ill-considered, ill-judged, short-sighted. Cosseted. Treat with excessive indulgence. unviable, not able to work, survive, or succeed, also spelled inviable. Percipient, highly perceptive, clear. Recrudesce, to break out or happen again, break, develop, erupt. Rapprochement, the re-establishing of cordial relations, reconciliation. Debonair, having a sophisticated charm. Debonair, debonair, suave. Deign, do something that one considers to be below one's dignity. Condescend, descend. Broadside, a strong verbal attack. Bill, broadsheet, circular, flyer, flyer, handbill, throwaway. Solicitude, a feeling of excessive concern, solicitousness. Unprepossessing, creating an unfavorable or neutral first impression, unpresentable. Bristle, react in an offended or angry manner. Abound, burst. Embryonic, in an early stage of development. Embryotic, embryologic, embryonal. Browbeat, be bossy towards, discourage or frighten with threats or a domineering manner. Ballyrag, boss around. Bully, bully rag. Hector, push around, strong arm. Doleful, filled with or evoking sadness, mournful. Besotted, strongly affectionate towards. Languish, become feeble, fade. Reprisal, a retaliatory action against an enemy in wartime. Effervescent, marked by high spirits or excitement. Bubbling, frothy, scintillating, sparkly. Ineffable, too sacred to be uttered, defying expression or description. Unnameable, unspeakable, unutterable, indefinable, indescribable, unspeakable, untellable. Meteoric, like a meteor in speed or brilliance or transience. Appurtenant, supply, added support. Accessory, adjunct, adjuvant, ancillary, auxiliary. Inanity, total lack of meaning or ideas. Mindlessness, pointlessness, senselessness, vacuity. Bemoan, express discontent or a strong regret. Bewail, deplore, lament. Antic, ludicrously odd. Fantastic, fantastical, grotesque. Untrammeled, not confined or limited, untrammeled. Gambit, a maneuver or risk in a game or conversation. Designed to secure an advantage, ploy, stratagem. Empiricism, any method that derives knowledge from experience. Used in experimental science as a way to gain insight and knowledge. Empiricist philosophy, sensationalism. Doughty, brave, bold, courageous. Inviolable, never to be broken. Infringed, or dishonored. Impregnable, secure, strong, unassailable, unattackable. Self-effacing, reluctant to draw attention to yourself. Reticent, retiring. Vaunted, highly or widely praised or boasted about. Gumption, resourcefulness and determination. Backbone, grit, guts, moxie, sand. Complicit, associated with or participating in an activity, especially one of a questionable nature. Bridle, the act of restraining power or action or limiting excess. Check, curb. Coterminous, being of equal extent or scope or duration. Coextensive, conterminous. Dolorous, showing sorrow. Dolorous, lachrymose, tearful, weeping. Transmute, change or alter in form, appearance, or nature. Metamorphose, transform, transubstantiate. Desiccated, uninteresting, lacking vitality, arid, desiccate. Unimpeachable, free of guilt, not subject to blame beyond doubt or reproach, blameless, inculpable, irreproachable. Pontificate, talk in a dogmatic and pompous manner. Bromide, a trite or obvious remark, banality, cliché, commonplace, platitude. Conflagration, a very intense and uncontrolled fire, inferno. Malingerer, someone shirking their duty by pretending to be sick or incapacitated, shammer, skulker. Desideratum, something desired as a necessity. Unassailable, immune to attack without flaws. Impregnable, inviolable, secure, strong, unattackable, bulletproof, unshakable, watertight. Afford, provide with an opportunity. Hauteur, overbearing pride evidenced by a superior manner toward inferiors. Arrogance, haughtiness, high-handedness, lordliness. Discursive, of e.g., speech and writing tending to depart from the main point. Digressive, excursive, rambling. Aplomb, great coolness and composure under strain. Assuredness, cool, poise, sang-froid. Palatable, acceptable to the taste or mind, toothsome. Conflate, mix together different elements or concepts. Blend, coalesce, combine, commingle, flux, fuse, immix, meld, merge, mix. Inequity, injustice by virtue of not conforming with rules or standards, unfairness. Assiduously, add with care and persistence. Proselytize, convert to another religion, philosophy, or perspective. Proselytize. Elegiac, expressing sorrow. Demonstrative, given to or marked by the open expression of emotion. Raillery, light teasing, backchat, banter, give and take. Diminutive, to indicate smallness. Bastardization, an act that debases or corrupts. Bastardization. Countermand, a contrary command cancelling or reversing a previous command. Adjudicate, to serve as a judge in a competition to arrive at a judgment or conclusion. Decide, resolve, settle, judge, try. Abrogate, revoke formally. Misattribute, to erroneously attribute to falsely ascribe, used especially of authorship. Bereft, unhappy in love, suffering from unrequited love. Lovelorn, unbeloved. Palaver, speak about unimportant matters rapidly and incessantly. Blab, blabber, chatter, clack, gabble, gibber, maunder, piffle, prate. Prattle, tattle, tittle-tattle, twaddle. Row, an angry dispute. Dust up, quarrel, run in, words, wrangle. Exiguity, the quality of being meager. Leanness, meagerness, meagerness, poorness, scantiness, scantness. Loath, unwillingness to do something contrary to your custom, usually followed by to. Loath, reluctant, antipathetic, antipathical, averse, indisposed. Enamor, attraction or feeling of love. Becharm, beguile, bewitch, captivate, capture, catch, charm, enamor, enchant, entrance, fascinate, trance. Eponym, the name derived from a person, real or imaginary, the person for whom something is named. Exorbitant, greatly exceeding bounds of reason or moderation. Extortionate, outrageous, steep, unconscionable, usurious. Simulacrum, a representation of a person especially in the form of sculpture, effigy, image. Unnerve, to make nervous or upset. Enervate, phase, unsettle. Slapdash, carelessly and hastily put together. Haphazard, slipshod, sloppy. Telltale, revealing. Insolvent, unable to pay one's bills, bankrupt. Thrifty, spending money wisely, careful. Summit, the peak or highest point. Acme, elevation, height, meridian, peak, pinnacle, superlative, tip-top, top, crest, crown. Screed, an abusive rant often tedious. Remiss, to be negligent in one's duty, delinquent, derelict, neglectful. Embroiled, involved in argument or contention, entangled. Demean, to insult, to cause someone to lose dignity or respect. Degrade, disgrace, put down, take down. Dog, to pursue relentlessly, to hound. Chase, chase after. Give chase, go after. Tag, tail, track, trail. Err, to make an error, mistake, slip. Underwrite, to support financially. Subvent, subvention. Indict, to formally charge or accuse of wrongdoing. Inflammable, extremely controversial, incendiary. Miser, a person who doesn't like to spend money because they are greedy. Stipend, a regular allowance of money. Variance, the quality of being different. Pinnacle, the highest point. Acme, elevation, height, meridian, peak, summit, superlative, tip-top, top. Retiring, to be shy, and to be inclined to retract from company, reticent, self-effacing. Censor, to examine and remove objectionable material, ban. Macabre, suggesting the horror of death and decay, gruesome. Ghastly, grim, grisly, sick. Telling, significant and revealing of another factor. Hound, to pursue relentlessly, hunt, trace. Thoroughgoing, very thorough, complete. Exhaustive, thorough. Diabolical, to be extremely wicked like the devil. Demonic, diabolic, fiendish, hellish, infernal, satanic, unholy, devilish, diabolic. Mephistophelian, Mephistophelian. Serendipity, the instance in which an accidental, fortunate discovery is made. Demure, to be modest and shy, coy, overmodest. Bleak, having a depressing or gloomy outlook. Bare, barren, desolate, stark. Start, to suddenly move in a particular direction. Stem, to hold back or limit the flow or growth of something. Above board, open and honest, straightforward. Immaterial, not relevant. Extraneous, impertinent. Orthogonal, incorporeal. Badger, to pester, beleaguer, bug, pester, tease. Becoming, appropriate, and matches nicely. Comely, comme il faut, decent, decorous, seemly. Imponderable, impossible to estimate or figure out. Pittance, a small amount of money. Check, to limit, usually modifying the growth of something. Desecrate, to willfully violate or destroy a sacred place. Outrage, profane, violate. Amok, aid in a frenzied or uncontrolled state. Amok, murderously. Virago, an ill-tempered or violent woman. Amazon. Melee, a wild, confusing fight or struggle. Battle royal, scrimmage. Checkered, one that is marked by disreputable happenings. Ferret, to search for something persistently, ferret out. Moment, significant and important value, consequence, import. Flush, to be in abundance, bloom, blossom, efflorescence, flower, heyday, peak, prime. Vicarious, felt or undergone as if one were taking part in the experience or feelings of another. Powwow, an informal meeting or discussion. Beatific, blissfully happy. Angelic, angelical, sainted, saint-like, saintly. Cadaverous, emaciated, gaunt, bony, haggard, pinched, skeletal, wasted. Raft, a large number of something. Batch, deal, flock, good deal. Great deal, hatful, heap, lot, mass, mess, mickle, mint, mountain, muckle, passil, peck, pile, plenty, pot, quite a little, sight, slew, spate, stack, tidy sum, wad. Adequate, good enough for what you need, decent, enough. Extenuating, making less guilty or more forgivable. Fleece, to deceive, gazump, hook, overcharge, pluck, plume, rob, soak, surcharge. Wax, to gradually increase in size or intensity, climb, mount, rise. Raffish, marked by a carefree unconventionality or disreputableness. Devil may care, rakish. Meander, to wander aimlessly, thread, wander, weave, wind. Ingenuity, the power of creative imagination, cleverness, ingeniousness, inventiveness. Flounder, behave awkwardly, have difficulties, stagger. Disenfranchise, deprive of voting rights, disfranchise. Robust, sturdy and strong in form, constitution, or construction. Degrade, reduce in worth or character, usually verbally, demean, disgrace, put down, take down. Appreciable, large enough to be noticed. USU, refers to an amount. Muted, softened, subdued, hushed, quiet, subdued. Snide, expressive of contempt, derogatory or mocking in an indirect way, sneering, supercilious. Respite, a pause from doing something as work, break, recess, time out. Boon, a desirable state, blessing. Proponent, a person who pleads for a cause or propounds an idea. Advocate, advocator, exponent. Moot, open to argument or debate, undecidable in a meaningless or irrelevant way. Arguable, debatable, disputable. Thwart, hinder or prevent the efforts, plans, or desires of. Baffle, bilk, cross, foil, frustrate, queer, scotch, spoil. Guffaw, laugh boisterously, laugh loudly. Fete, to celebrate a person, celebrate. Disheartened, made less hopeful or enthusiastic. Demoralized, demoralized, discouraged. Autonomously, aid in an autonomous or self-governing manner. Inclement, of weather unpleasant, stormy. Ornate, marked by elaborate rhetoric and elaborated with decorative details, flowery. Apprehension, fearful expectation. Apprehensiveness, dread, misgiving. Plodding, of movement slow and laborious, leaden. Malady, a disease or sickness, illness, sickness, unwellness. Deter, turn away from by persuasion, dissuade, entice, get someone to do something through often false or exaggerated promises, lure, tempt. Commendable, worthy of high praise, applaudable, laudable, praiseworthy. Tumult, a state of chaos, noise and confusion, garboil, tumultuousness, uproar, commotion, din, ruckus, ruction, rumpus. Derisive, abusing, vocally expressing contempt or ridicule, jibe-like, jeering, mocking, taunting. Banish, expel from a community, residence, or location, drive away, ban, blackball, cast out, ostracize, shun. Precedent, an example that is used to justify similar occurrences at a later time, case in point. Sentimental, effusively or insincerely emotional, especially in art, music, and literature. Pathetic, drippy, hokey, kitschy, maudlin, mawkish, mushy, schmaltzy, schmalzy, slushy, soppy, soupy. Empathetic, showing understanding and ready comprehension of other people's states and emotions, empathic. Uncompromising, not making concessions, inflexible, sturdy. Spurn, reject with contempt, disdain, freeze off, pooh-pooh, reject, scorn, turn down. Detrimental, sometimes followed by to, causing harm or injury, damaging, prejudicial, prejudicious. Smattering, a slight or superficial understanding of a subject, a small amount of something, handful. Buck, resist, go against. Genial, agreeable, conducive to comfort, kind. Elaborate, marked by complexity and richness of detail. Luxuriant, contemptuous, scornful, looking down at others with a sneering attitude. Disdainful, insulting, scornful. Perpetuate, cause to continue. Hamstrung, made ineffective or powerless. Unruly, of persons noisy and lacking in restraint or discipline, unwilling to submit to authority. Boisterous, rambunctious, robustious, rumbustious, disobedient. Rankle, gnaw into, make resentful or angry, eat into, fret, grate. Label, a name or phrase given to a group of things to identify them, often negative. Egotist, a conceited and self-centered person. Egoist, swellhead. Rash, marked by defiant disregard for danger or consequences, imprudently incurring risk. Foolhardy, heady, reckless. Savvy, a perceptive understanding, apprehension, discernment, understanding. Aphoristic, something that is concise and instructive of a general truth or principle. Devolve, pass on or delegate to another. Degenerate, deteriorate, drop. Impregnable, immune to attack, incapable of being tampered with. Inviolable, secure, strong, unassailable, unattackable. Presumption, an assumption that is taken for granted, given, precondition. Irk, irritate or vex, gall. Elude, escape understanding. Bilk, evade. Smug, marked by excessive complacency or self-satisfaction, self-satisfied. Impending, close in time, about to occur. At hand, close at hand, imminent, impendent. Enmity, a state of deep-seated ill will. Antagonism, hostility. Steadfast, marked by firm determination or resolution, not shakeable. Firm, steady, stiff, unbendable, unfaltering, unshakable, unwavering. Taxing, used to the limit, exhaust, burdensome, onerous. Serene, calm and peaceful, tranquil, unagitated. Retract, pull inward or towards a center, formally reject or disavow a formerly held belief, usually under pressure. Draw in, abjure, forswear, recant, resile. Reservation, an unstated doubt that prevents you from accepting something wholeheartedly. Arrière-pensée, mental reservation. Quip, a witty saying or remark. Epigram, crack, sally, wisecrack. Candidness, the quality of being honest and straightforward in attitude and speech. Candor, directness, forthrightness, frankness. Peevish, easily irritated or annoyed. Cranky, fractious, irritable, nettlesome, peckish, pettish, petulant, scratchy, techy, testy, tetchy. Eke, to live off meager resources, to scrape by. Conniving, taking part in immoral and unethical plots. Discord, lack of agreement or harmony, strife. Derogative, expressed as worthless or in negative terms, derogatory, disparaging. Diligent, characterized by care and perseverance in carrying out tasks, persevering. Credulity, tendency to believe readily. Tact, consideration in dealing with others and avoiding giving offense, tactfulness. Brusquely, aid in a blunt, direct manner. Bluffly, bluntly, flat out, roundly. Tarnish, make dirty or spotty, as by exposure to air, also used metaphorically. Defile, maculate, stain, sully. Ploy, a clever plan to turn a situation to one's advantage. Gambit, stratagem. Tribulation, something, especially an event, that causes difficulty and suffering. Trial, visitation. Behooves, to be one's duty or obligation. Cavalier, given to haughty disregard of others. High-handed, even-handed, without partiality. Implicate, convey a meaning, imply, entail. Forthright, characterized by directness in manner or speech without subtlety or evasion. Blunt, candid, frank. Free-spoken, outspoken, plainspoken. Point blank, straight from the shoulder. Finagle, achieve something by means of trickery or devious methods. Manage, wangle. Cohesive, well integrated, forming a united whole. Intermittent, stopping and starting at irregular intervals. Delegate, give an assignment to a person. Assign, depute, designate. Besmirch, damage the good name and reputation of someone. Asperse, calumniate, defame, denigrate. Slander, smear, smirch, sully. Industrious, characterized by hard work and perseverance. Hardworking, tireless, untiring. Foolhardy, marked by defiant disregard for danger or consequences. Heady, rash, reckless. Begrudge, to envy someone for possessing or enjoying something. Resent. Rakish, marked by a carefree unconventionality or disreputableness. Devil may care, raffish. Veneer, covering consisting of a thin superficial layer that hides the underlying substance. Humdrum, dull and lacking excitement. Commonplace. Prosaic, unglamorous, monotonous. Glean, collect information bit by bit. Harvest, reap. Prevail, Be widespread in a particular area at a particular time. Be current. Incumbent. Necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility. Avert. Turn away. Rile. Cause annoyance and disturb. Especially by minor irritations. Annoy. Bother. Chafe. Devil. Get it. Get to. Gravel. Irritate. Narc. Nettle. Rag. Vex. Colossal. So great in size or force or extent as to elicit awe. Prodigious. Stupendous. Compound. Make more intense, stronger, or more marked. Deepen, heighten, intensify. Malodorous. Having an unpleasant smell. Ill-smelling, malodorous, stinky, unpleasant smelling. Paradoxical. Seemingly contradictory but nonetheless possibly true. Self-contradictory. Chivalrous. Being attentive to women like an ideal knight. Gallant, knightly. Excruciating. Extremely painful. Agonizing. Agonizing. Harrowing. Torturesome. Torturing, tortuous. Differentiate. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait sometimes in positive sense. Distinguish, mark. Decimation. Destroying or killing a large part of the population. Constraint. Something that limits or restricts, restraint. Provisional. Under terms not final or fully worked out or agreed upon. Probationary, provisionary, tentative. Antiquated. Old-fashioned, belonging to an earlier period in time. Antediluvian, archaic. Snub. Refuse to acknowledge, reject outright and bluntly. Cumbersome. Difficult to handle or use, especially because of size or weight. Cumbrous. Dilapidated. In terrible condition. Bedraggled. Broken down. Derelict. Ramshackle. Tatterdemalion. Tumbled down. Staid. Characterized by dignity and propriety. Sedate. Inarticulate. Without or deprived of the use of speech or words. Unarticulate. Vanquish. Come out better in a competition, race, or conflict. Beat, beat out, crush, shell, trounce. Evasive. Avoiding or escaping from difficulty or danger or commitment. Inkling. A slight suggestion or vague understanding. Glimmer, glimmering, intimation. Vie. Compete for something. Compete, contend. Morph. To undergo dramatic change in a seamless and barely noticeable fashion. Deliberate. Think about, carefully weigh the pros and cons of an issue. Consider, debate, moot, turn over. Laborious. Characterized by effort to the point of exhaustion. Especially physical effort. Arduous. Backbreaking. Grueling, hard, heavy, operose, punishing, toilsome. Amply. Add more than is adequate. Fully. Creditable. Deserving of praise but not that amazing. Hamper. Prevent the progress or free movement of. Cramp, halter, strangle. Obliging. Showing a cheerful willingness to do favors for others. Complacent. Resignation. The acceptance of something unpleasant that can't be avoided. Surrender. Maintain. To assert. Defend. Relevant. Closely connected to the topic and therefore important. Involved. Complicated, and difficult to comprehend. Byzantine. Convoluted. Knotty. Tangled. Tortuous. Wanting. Lacking. Deficient. Lacking. Acrimony. Bitterness and ill will. Acerbity. Bitterness. Jaundice. Tartness. Thorniness. Impertinent. being disrespectful, improperly forward or bold, fresh, impudent, overbold, sassy, saucy, smart, wise. Vindicate, to clear of accusation, blame, suspicion, or doubt with supporting arguments or proof, justify. Betray, to reveal or make known something, usually unintentionally, betray. Amalgam, a mixture of multiple things. Imperil, transitive verb, to put at risk, endanger. Synonyms: frivolous, not serious in content or attitude or behavior. Conspicuous, without any attempt at concealment, completely obvious, blatant, blazing. Volubility, the quality of talking or writing easily and continuously, articulateness, fluency. Resource, some saved material that can be used for a purpose, especially money. Anything used to make energy such as oil, or information sources such as books. Lambast, criticize severely or angrily. Bawl out, berate, call down, call on the carpet, chew out, chew up, chide, dress down. Have words, jaw, lambaste, lecture, rag, rebuke, remonstrate, reprimand, reproof, scold, take to task, trounce. Dictatorial, expecting unquestioning obedience, characteristic of an absolute ruler. Authoritarian, overbearing, authoritarian, autocratic, despotic, tyrannic, tyrannical. Gall, the trait of being rude and impertinent. Cheekiness, crust, freshness, impertinence, impudence, insolence. Mawkish, overly sentimental to the point that it is disgusting, pathetic, drippy, hokey, kitschy, maudlin, mushy, schmaltzy, schmaltzy, sentimental, slushy, soppy, soupy. Entrenched, fixed firmly or securely. Chortle, to chuckle, laugh merrily, chuckle, laugh softly. Deferential, showing respect, deferent, regardful. Precocious, characterized by or characteristic of exceptionally early development or maturity, especially in mental aptitude. Jubilant, full of high-spirited delight because of triumph or success. Exultant, exulting, prideful, rejoicing. Triumphal, triumphant, elated, gleeful, joyful. Perceive, to be aware of, to sense or feel, comprehend. Tantamount, being essentially equal to something. Equivalent. Frustrate, hinder or prevent the efforts, plans, or desires of. Baffle, bilk, cross, foil, queer, scotch, spoil, thwart. Derive, come from, be connected by a relationship of blood. For example, come, descend. Disaffected, discontented as toward authority, ill-affected, malcontent, rebellious. Register, to put your name or other information in a list for something. Elucidate, make clearer and easier to understand. Clear, clear up. Crystallize, 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 crystallize. Enlighten, illuminate, shed light on. Sort out, straighten out. Forlorn, marked by or showing hopelessness. Contrive, to pull off a plan or scheme, usually through skill or trickery. Devise, excogitate, forge, formulate, invent. Access, the ability to go into when somebody or something must allow you to enter. Accession, admission, admittance, entree. Vehement, marked by extreme intensity of emotions or convictions, fierce, tearing, trigger-happy, violent. Heretic, a person who holds unorthodox opinions in any field, not merely religion. Misbeliever, religious outcast. Negligible, so small as to be meaningless, insignificant, paltry, trifling. Haughty, having or showing arrogant superiority to and disdain of those one views as unworthy, disdainful. Imperious, lordly, overbearing, prideful, sniffy, supercilious, swaggering. Indifference, the trait of seeming not to care. Apathy, numbness, spiritlessness, emotionlessness, impassiveness, impassivity. Phlegm, stolidity, unemotionality. Eradicate, to completely destroy, exterminate, extirpate, root out, uproot, annihilate, carry off, decimate, eliminate, extinguish, wipe out. Unscrupulous, without scruples or principles. Reconcile, make one thing compatible with another, accommodate, conciliate. Bumbling, lacking physical movement skills, especially with the hands, bungling, butterfingered, ham-fisted, ham-handed, handless, heavy-handed, left-handed. Forthcoming, available when required or as promised, approaching, coming, upcoming. Expound, add details or explanation, clarify the meaning, state in depth. Dilate, elaborate, enlarge. Expand, expatiate, exposit, flesh out, lucubrate. Capacity, noun, the amount or volume something can hold, ability, especially mental. Ravenous, extremely hungry, devouring or craving food in great quantities. Esurient, famished, sharp-set, starved. Edacious, esurient, rapacious, ravening, voracious, wolfish. Tempered, moderated in effect, hardened, toughened, treated. Scrupulous, characterized by extreme care and great effort. Conscientious, painstaking. Constituent, a citizen who is represented in a government by officials for whom he or she votes. Ostracize, exclude from a community or group. Ban, banish, blackball, cast out, ostracize, shun. Haphazard, marked by great carelessness, dependent upon or characterized by chance. Slapdash, slipshod, sloppy, hit or miss. Despite, preposition, economical, avoiding waste. Efficient, frugal, scotch, sparing, stinting. Harried, troubled persistently, especially with petty annoyances. Annoyed, harassed, pestered, vexed. Duress, compulsory force or threat. Stringent, demanding strict attention to rules and procedures. Rigorous, tight. Misconstrue, interpret in the wrong way. Be amiss, misapprehend, misconceive, misinterpret, misunderstand. Sin, bumbling, gauche, unskillful. Truncate, reduce the length of something. Abridge. Sullen, showing a brooding ill humor. Dark, dour, glowering, glum, moody, morose, saturnine, sour. Imprudent, not wise. Ignominious, used of conduct or character deserving or bringing disgrace or shame. Black, disgraceful, inglorious, opprobrious, shameful. Opulence, wealth as evidenced by sumptuous living. Luxuriousness, luxury, sumptuousness. Askance, add with a look of suspicion or disapproval. efficacious, producing the intended result, effective, effectual, banality, a trite or obvious remark, bromide, cliché, commonplace, platitude, jovial, full of or showing high-spirited merriment, i.e., happiness, gay, jocund, jolly, merry, mirthful.